Chapter 14:16. In the depths of the city lord's mansion, a giant formation platform stood tall. It was silver-white in color and looked like a silver mountain. It was engraved with millions of immortal Tao laws. The giant silver formation platform emanated a vast space-time ripple that had a far-reaching influence. The value of this kind of space-time array was extremely high. Even immortal orthodoxies would find it difficult to construct a space-time array that could span across continents, especially one that could span across dozens of continents. It was simply too ridiculous. Generally speaking, only rich continents had formations that could cross dozens of continents. Immortal sects would have to pay a huge price to build such a thing. They would even need expensive maintenance fees. Xia Kunlun, by Yunxi, come here. Zhu Yuanli waved his hand from afar. Many experts had gathered nearby. Su Yan looked around and found many young people with powerful auras. They were all at the peak of the immortal realm. There were about 100 of them. Most of them were talented young experts that Zhu Yuanli and the others had recruited. They were going to bring them back to their clans and train them in preparation for the myriad tribe battlefield. Look, Zhu Yao is here. The arrival of a woman broke the silence here, causing quite a commotion. Many cultivators looked at her with strange gazes. After all, the changes in Qingshan City had happened. After all, Green Mountain's incident had affected Zhu Yao too much. Zhu Yao's expression was cold and indifferent. Her pair of majestic eyes made the crowd shudder out of fear. Zhu Yao was the strongest female expert in Sky Bamboo. There were only a handful of young people in the clan who could be compared to her. Although she had a stain on her record, who would dare to talk about her openly? Zhu Yao has been staying at home all this time. Now she has no choice but to come out. Zhu Gaoga also came. He had his hands behind his back and looked majestic. He was accompanied by a few young men with powerful auras. He sneered in his heart. This proud phoenix must not be as arrogant as before after such a setback. Let's see if she can still be arrogant in front of me in the future. The strongest person in Sky Bamboo was definitely Zhu Yonghua. The remaining experts of the younger generation were also secretly fighting against each other. All of them were after the top resources of their respective clans. Zhu Yao was the strongest female expert. Her treatment was second only to Zhu Yonghua. Therefore, many disciples saw her as a thorn in their side. Although Zhu Gaoga was Zhu Lihui's only descendant, his talent was not as good as Zhu Yao's. Naturally, his treatment was different. Zhu Gaoga didn't know about the secret agreement between Zhu Lihui and Zhu Yao. The fewer people who knew about it, the better. Look at Zhu Yao. She only has 2 battle generals by her side. In the past, she would probably have more than 10. Some people couldn't help but laugh. They knew very well that Zhu Yao already had more than 10 generals by her side, and they were all experts among experts. If it weren't for the incident in Qingshan City, the number of generals by Zhu Yao's side might have increased to more than 20. But now, they only saw by Yunxi and Xia Kunlun. Alas, Zhu Yuanli sighed slightly. Originally, he had traveled to the various continents to recruit geniuses for his family. In the end, many of the vassal clans learned of Zhu Yao's misfortune and chose other young experts of the Sky Bamboo branch. If she did not have a strong young battle general following her, Zhu Yao would be at a disadvantage in the future of the myriad races battlefield. You people are mocking me? I'll show you in the future. I may have lost my 6th grade evolution and suffer setback, but in the future, I, Zhu Yao, will definitely be able to replace the bamboo sunglow. Zhu Yao's eyes were overflowing with anger. The Sky Bamboo Dharma seed was not lost at all. Just in case, she had given it to the elders of her family for safekeeping. She believed that once the Diyuan Golden Pill was refined and she merged with the Sky Bamboo Dharma seed, her combat power would definitely skyrocket. She would enter an extremely shocking realm and should be able to replace the bamboo sunglow. Bamboo Moon, if I succeed, I will send your bones to the ancestral shrine and enjoy the supreme glory. Zhu Yao couldn't help but think of the old woman in the Xianwang universe. She was pitiful, but if she really succeeded, she would not forget Bamboo Moon. She guessed that the Bamboo Moon by now was probably a skeleton. As for the ancestral shrine of her family, it was not a place that ordinary people could enter. Only existences like the Grand Elders could enjoy the incense and worship of the immortal orthodoxies in the ancestral shrine. Boom! At this moment, the space-time formation shone with ancient space-time fluctuations. The formation shone brightly as the two immortals opened a space-time gate. It's time to go. Su Yin and the others rushed into the space-time formation. As the formation exploded, space-time fluctuations surged like an ocean, enveloping all the cultivators and starting to travel through space-time. In an instant, the auras of the cultivators in the space-time formation weakened. Those with weaker primordial spirits were in a daze, unable to wake up. Su Yin was shocked. How far had they traveled? He felt as if his lifespan was slipping away quickly. Although the immortal Tao order was isolating him, he was still affected to a certain extent. It feels like we've crossed at least a dozen continents. How far is that? Who knows how long it would take for a cultivator to cross a dozen continents? It said that there are tens of thousands of continents in the undying sky domain. I'm afraid that even a true immortal of the great all-embracing heaven would find it difficult to cross all the continents. Su Yin smacked his lips in shock. The value of the space-time formation was 80% beyond his expectations. Suddenly, he felt a gaze on him. Su Yin noticed that Zhu Yao was looking at him. This made his heart skip a beat. Only then did he notice that Bai Yunxi had not woken up. These people were in a daze. Only a few of them were barely conscious. Su Yin was one of them. Su Yin did not think much of it. Only by displaying his strength could he fight for more things. Zhu Yao only paid attention to Su Yin. She did not pay too much attention to him. She had seen the peerless geniuses from the big and small universes in the void. Some of them were indeed very special and very strong. As for how strong Xia Kunlun was, she would soon find out. Zhu Yao was not in a hurry. The space-time formation continued to travel. They jumped through space-time several times and crossed more than a dozen continents. Su Yin estimated that they had crossed more than 100 continents. How far had they crossed? How many immortal Dao stones had they used? At this moment, Su Yin and the others rushed into a world where the light was slightly dim. It was as if they had rushed into a space-time wormhole. Su Yin was surprised. Then he was shocked. Unbelievable, he muttered in his heart. He felt that he had come to another world. A world completely different from the one before. The sky was filled with undying matter that surged like a tide, nurturing a vast and majestic world. This didn't seem like a great continent at all, but rather like a condensed world of the heaven domain, where the supreme immortal Tao might existed. In an instant, they had an illusion. It was as if they had come to the legendary land of immortals. Even the legacy disciples of the major factions of the race were dumbfounded. Was this the core region of the undying heaven domain? It was rumored that the core region had 3,000 continents. Each continent had its own immortal sect. It was said that there were 3,000 immortal sects at the peak of their power. This was very frightening. The undying heaven domain was too vast. It was difficult to measure. Although the Green Mountain continent was a rich continent, how could it compare to the core region? Just the energy matter in the air was several times more than the rich continent. As they traveled, space-time was constantly distorted. They had crossed too far. It was hard to imagine how majestic this continent was. Some people said that the area of 10 Green Mountain continents added together was only as big as the heavenly bamboo continent. This is the heavenly bamboo continent, Su Yin said in secret. This was the continent of the heavenly bamboo lineage. It was vast and boundless. The undying immortal essence was abundant. The universe and the starry sky were also very thick. It was very difficult to shake. Soon, they arrived at a city. This city was too outrageous. It was too majestic. The sun, moon, and stars were like dust drifting in the sky above the city. The majestic heavenly bamboo city encompassed heaven and earth. It was like a universe. There were seas of stars flowing around the walls. Bai Yunxi was dumbfounded by the visual impact. This was a city? It was like a boundless universe. It was too extraordinary. What is this? Many people were astonished. They saw a giant stone tablet towering at the city gate. It reached the peak of the heavens. On the stone tablet, there were densely packed names. The names at the top were all blazing like blazing suns. It was so dazzling that it hurt people's eyes. "This is the heavenly bamboo tablet," an elder said in a deep voice. "The experts who have just joined our clan have to withstand the test of the heavenly bamboo tablet. You will be able to sense it when you get close to the heavenly bamboo tablet. If you can leave your name on the heavenly bamboo tablet, you will be heavily nurtured. This is an opportunity for you. You must grasp it." So this is the heavenly bamboo tablet. Many people were excited. Zhu Yanghua. Suyin saw a very blazing name. It was almost at the top of the list. It is said that the names at the top of the heavenly bamboo tablet are the strongest heroes of the heavenly bamboo lineage over the years, Bai Yunxi explained to Su Yan. The reason why the clan Zhu Yanghua was at the top was because his potential was too shocking. He was about to become the strongest hero. Su Yan also noticed Zhu Yao's name. She was about the 300th place. This was already very impressive. After all, the heavenly bamboo lineage had been passed down for millions of years. Outstanding heroes emerged from every generation. It was very impressive to be able to enter the 300th place. Most of the names on the heavenly bamboo tablet were experts of the clan, but there were also outsiders. Xia Kunlun, use all your strength to erupt. Zhu Yao transmitted his voice using his origin power. In this battle, our clan has recruited geniuses from other clans. Feng Rong is the strongest and has entered the top 1,000. Our clan values him greatly and has bestowed him with many places of fortune. Especially during this special period, the immortal path stones he receives every month are as high as 50 kilograms. This was a number that would make one's eyes go red. Did they really think that immortal path stones were so easy to obtain? Generally speaking, some young experts with potential could enter the top 100,000. However, the immortal path stones they received every month were only 10 kilograms. The difference was too great. The current Feng Rong was an influential figure in the heavenly bamboo lineage. He followed Zhu Yanghua. "Let me go first." A silver-robed man walked out from beside Zhu Gaoga. His face was like jade, and he was full of confidence as he charged toward the heavenly bamboo tablet. "It's Feng De, Feng Rong's younger brother," some people exclaimed. The Feng family was a vassal clan of the heavenly bamboo lineage. They were one of the top clans. Feng Rong's rise had caused the Feng family to rise as well. It was said that the heavenly bamboo lineage had exempted the Feng family from paying tribute for 100 years in order to rope Feng Rong in. Feng Rong is so strong. Feng De must not be weak either. That's right. They are siblings from the same mother. Their bloodlines must be shocking. Feng Rong swept through a rich continent and was nominated on the emperor rankings. Although Feng De is slightly weaker, he is definitely not inferior by much. The surrounding people discussed animatedly as they watched Feng De charge toward the heavenly bamboo tablet. Boom! The heavenly bamboo tablet revived on its own. It scattered a ray of light that illuminated Feng De's primordial spirit, body, and great Tao. It drew out his strongest potential. Chapter 14:17. Feng De's body glowed with divine light. After all, he was Feng Rong's younger brother and had been groomed by the clan. He had achieved great things in every field, surpassing his peers. Soon, a beam of light shot out from his physique and penetrated the sky bamboo steel. The names on the sky bamboo steel were rearranged at a speed visible to the naked eye. The elders were overjoyed to see a brand new name at the 13,000th rank. The entire place was in an uproar. The 13,000th rank was already impressive, surpassing many disciples of the sky bamboo lineage. Su Yan was shocked, but not because of Feng De's strength. The sky bamboo steel only affected one immortal orthodoxy, but there were more than 100,000 names in the immortal orthodoxy. What kind of concept was that? It was hard to imagine how prosperous the immortal heavenly domain was. Only 13,000th rank. However, Feng De was dissatisfied and frowned. His brother and brother were ranked in the top 1,000, but the gap between them was too big. Zhu Gaoge laughed at his dissatisfaction. Fonda, don't be greedy. Actually, Feng Rong was not ranked in the top 1,000 in the first test, but in the 3,800th rank. However, after being groomed by my clan, his rank has soared to the top 1,000. As for you, you're ranked in the top 10,000. There's a lot of room for improvement. I can guarantee that you'll reach the top 9,000th rank within a year. Zhu Gaoge was confident. Feng Rong was now his right-hand man, so he would naturally nurture him well. Then I'm relieved. Fonda was overjoyed. Being ranked in the top 10,000 was a great achievement. The resources and treatment he received would be greatly improved, and he would be heavily groomed by the Sky Bamboo lineage. Next, more and more people went to take the test. After all, this batch of cultivators were the geniuses selected by the Emperor ranking. Therefore, almost everyone had a ranking, but they were all ranked in the top 80,000th. Feng Rong was very proud, but Zhu Gaoge lowered his voice. Fonda, some of the experts in this batch were sent to the clan in advance. You're not the first, so don't talk nonsense in the clan to avoid offending others. Understand. Fonda nodded. Although his brother was extraordinary, the waters in the Sky Bamboo lineage were too deep. He did not want to get into trouble. Although some special people were brought to the clan in advance for grooming, Feng Rong was relatively proud and looked down on the others. Sigh. Bai Yunqi sighed. She had finished the test and was ranked around 50,000. One had to know that when Bai Yunqi left home this time, the family had given her a large number of resources. These days, Bai Yunqi's progress was lightning fast. However, she did not expect the gap between her and Feng Rong to be so shocking. She was somewhat shocked. It's my turn. I think I'm the last one. At this moment, it was Su Yan's turn. He walked forward directly. Apparently, a rogue cultivator has triggered the monarch ranking. A few people discussed among themselves. They more or less had some understanding of their fellow cultivators, and some of them knew about Xia Kunlun's inner workings. Rogue cultivator? Feng snorted disdainfully. A rogue cultivator can actually walk with us? How laughable. I think that he doesn't even have the qualifications to be nominated for the Heavenly Bamboo Steel. Boom. However, at the moment when the light from the bamboo steel shone on Su Yan's body, in the blink of an eye, he was completely different. His blood and qi surged like the release of a deep sea. It was difficult to see just how exuberant his blood essence energy was. The surrounding people paled. Was this a rogue cultivator? What kind of joke was this? The blood and qi in Xia Kunlun's body was too exuberant. It was like the furnace of life was burning. It was resplendent and blazing, illuminating the mountains and rivers brilliantly. Xia Kunlun was like a golden deity. The blood and qi he released pierced through the heavens. As the boundless blood and qi surged, the surrounding space-time rumbled. It formed clouds that hung from the sky and drowned this space-time. Heavens, what rich blood and qi! This child's physical body is astonishing. The group of elders was stunned. Their eyes burned as if they had seen a treasure. No wonder he wasn't affected by the space-time crossing formation. His vitality is so strong. Zhu Yao was also moved. He was stronger than she had expected. Immediately after, the bamboo steel shone on Su Yan's primordial spirit and undying substance. However, his primordial spirit was relatively weak, and his undying substance was limited. The elders were shocked. His primordial spirit was too weak, and his undying substance was also limited. Zhu Yuan Li's face was full of pain. He said, "It's a pity that such a good seedling delayed his cultivation. After all, the great and small universes in the void are lacking in resources. If he had come to our clan a few decades earlier, he would have been the next Feng Rong. Yes, it's such a pity. However, it's also amazing if he's nurtured. His physical body is astonishing, and he's suitable for cultivating powerful, physical, remarkable powers." The group of elders discussed animatedly. Some are optimistic about Xia Kunlun. If he cultivated in seclusion for a few decades, he would be a good seedling in the future. Su Yan stood under the bamboo steel and became calmer. He had used the incomplete cauldron to suppress his primordial spirit and undying substance. He had even suppressed part of his physical body's foundation. He had indeed muddled his way through. If he hadn't suppressed it, the commotion he had caused would have been too shocking. He would have definitely been interrogated by the bamboo lineage about his origins, and he might have given himself away. Of course, Su Yan had revealed his physical body state because he wanted to ask for more resources to quickly strengthen himself. 18,000. Many elders were shocked. His primordial spirit and undying substance were so weak, yet he was still able to obtain such a high ranking. It was truly amazing. Fonda's expression was somewhat unsightly. A wild cultivator had almost suppressed his limelight. He even realized that many of the elders valued Xia Kunlun more than himself. By Yunshi, Xia Kunlun, do you want to come to my place? At this moment, Zhu Gaoga's shocking words broke the silence here. Many people were shocked. This was blatant robbery. With Xia Kunlun's potential, as long as they said a word, it would be relatively easy to obtain resources. He would certainly become a fierce general after some nurturing. Zhu Yao's eyes widened as she shouted coldly, "Zhu Gaoga, you become quite bold. You dare fight over my people?" "Your people?" Zhu Gaoga sneered. "Not necessarily, right? They haven't officially entered the bamboo lineage. It's too early to make a conclusion. If not for ancestor Zhu Li Hui's face, do you think you can still stand here and talk to me?" Zhu Yao was furious. Her terrifying aura was still pervading the air. Without a doubt, Zhu Yao's battle strength was the strongest here. "You." Zhu Gaoga's expression was gloomy and ashen. He then said coldly, "The family is about to finish refining a furnace of evolution fluid. I'm afraid you two won't get anything good by following Zhu Yao. Xia Kunlun, with your potential, following Zhu Yao is truly a waste." Evolution fluid? The scene was in chaos. Fonda's eyes were so red that they were about to turn purple. How could he not know what the life essence evolution fluid was? He was very clear that Feng Rong's current ranking was mainly because Zhu Songhua had helped him obtain a 5th grade evolution fluid. Su Yan was also excited. The effects of the 6th grade evolution fluid were still unforgettable. If he could obtain another portion, he would definitely be able to continue strengthening his life essence. This was a substance that couldn't be obtained even if one begged for it. He had inquired about the evolution fluid in Qingshan City before, but unfortunately, it wasn't for sale. Not to mention the 6th grade, even the lowest grade couldn't be bought. Zhu Gaoga. A certain true immortal glared at him with a gloomy expression. Zhu Gaoga's heart skipped a beat. The evolution fluid was of great importance and was not allowed to be leaked. He had only revealed it in a moment of desperation. Although several true immortals were extremely dissatisfied with Zhu Gaoga, they didn't say much. After all, he was Zhu Li Hui's only son. It was said that Zhu Li Hui had once explored a peerless place of fortune and found an extremely terrifying treasure, which he then gave to Zhu Gaoga. It was said that this item will be able to recover its terrifying power when Zhu Gaoga stepped into the true immortal realm. It would also give Zhu Gaoga peerless combat power and make him one of the leading figures of the Sky Bamboo lineage. One should never underestimate a true immortal of the grand, all-embracing heaven. The treasure in his eyes was definitely not ordinary. Zhu Gaoga, back in the days when we were in the Bai family, you made things difficult for our family in every possible way. What are you trying to do now? Bai Yunqi said with a gloomy expression. Even if he were to side with someone, he wouldn't side with Zhu Gaoga. Ignore him. He's just a bully. Su Yan was like a hothead, shouting along. This scene made Zhu Yao's expression soften slightly. She mocked. "You're just an immortal who relied on external things to mature your body? You want to recruit 2 immortals who relied on themselves to break through? Bastard." Zhu Gaoga was furious. This had always been his fig leaf, but no one dared to mention it. After all, he was Zhu Li Hui's only descendant. Naturally, Zhu Li Hui would crazily throw all kinds of resources at him. The immortal herb essences he found were extraordinary. He even obtained the 6th grade life essence evolution fluid and a series of other treasures. To put it bluntly, Zhu Gaoga was also a tyrannical, rich second generation. His combat power wasn't weak either. You two, very good, Zhu Gaoga said fiercely. The life essence evolution fluid does give many outer sex spots, but you two are not qualified to fight for it. Let's wait and see. Zhu Yao's expression was ugly. Her generals had all obtained the 5th grade life essence evolution fluid. In the past, no one dared to target her subordinates. However, the situation was different now. If Zhu Gaoga really did something in secret, she would be the one to lose face. Looks like I have to think of a way to quickly increase their strength, Zhu Yao thought to herself. She knew the cruelty of the 10,000 tribe battlefield. Even if she found the place where the ancestor fell, it was still a big problem whether she could suppress Zhu Songhua. Xia Kunlun was her powerful external aid. Therefore, she would do everything she could to increase their strength. Of course, it was not just Zhu Yao. Zhu Gaoga and the others also had the same idea. They all wanted to occupy the rare resources in the 10,000 tribe battlefield. One should know that the 10,000 tribe battlefield in Emperor Road was also the place where the true immortals rose. A wild cultivator dares to go against you, big brother, Fengde said eerily. Don't worry, big brother. If the day comes to fight for the spots, I'll cripple him. Let's see how arrogant he can be. Then I'll wait and see. Let's go. Zhu Gaoga snorted and waved his hand. He led them into the city. This city was Sky Bamboo City. It was also the ancestral land of the Sky Bamboo clan. The huge city was the habitat of the Sky Bamboo clan. After a long time of development, this clan had a large population. It was glorious and prosperous. They did not stop at Sky Bamboo City. Instead, they passed through Sky Bamboo City and arrived at the ancestral land. Su Yan's body and mind were at ease. Not only was the essence of heaven and earth here pure, but the energy substances were also full of active essence. It could prolong the aging of the human body. Staying here for a long time could cleanse the body and improve one's aptitude, as expected of the Sky Bamboo clan's ancestral land. Su Yan was moved. They stood in the ancestral land and looked at the world in the distance. Between the majestic mountains and rivers, there were suns, moons, and stars circling. There were also seas of stars flowing between the mountains and rivers. Heaven and earth blended together, giving birth to chaos. The immortal sound of the great Tao echoed endlessly. The entire ancestral land was filled with the atmosphere of the beginning of heaven and earth. In each of the grotto heavens, it was suspected that the immortal Tao was being nurtured. Immortal mist filled the air, mysterious and unpredictable. Su Yan even felt an ancient aura flowing in the ancestral land. It penetrated the past, present, and future. Vaguely, Su Yan sensed a terrifying prehistoric wave. It was shocking and majestic. It wanted to suppress the entire ancestral land. Su Yan was shocked. Was this the power of the Sky Bamboo clan's ancestor? Even if it had fallen, it still left behind an unparalleled aura. The giant bamboo said that it could open up a restricted treasure land. But after 1,000,000 years, the Sky Bamboo clan has changed greatly. I wonder if it can still do it? Su Yan was especially expectant. To the giant bamboo, the Sky Bamboo clan was no longer the Sky Bamboo clan of the past. The ancestor would not blame them for taking something away. Brothers, I'm begging for some monthly votes. Chapter 14:18. The vast territory was filled with pure and flawless essence, containing an astonishing amount of vitality. Between the mountains and great earth, plants were densely packed. These weren't ordinary plants, and they had long-developed intelligence. They released auspicious multicolored light, and their vitality was exuberant. Rare medicinal ingredients could be seen everywhere, growing everywhere. This is the cultivation area of our clan. A true immortal stepped forward and said, "We have opened up many grotto heavens and blessed lands, all of which are incredible cultivation mansions. You can choose the uninhabited cultivation mansions. Of course, if you perform well in the future, you can go to the deeper parts of the mansions to cultivate." The true immortal waved his sleeve and led all the cultivators into the deeper parts of the mansions. When they arrived, the scenery was completely different. The essence of heaven and earth was several times denser. The moonlight and starlight all over the ground merged with the immortal substance of heaven and earth, forming a rare energy source that could nourish a powerful battle physique. What a terrifying mansions! Fonda's eyes were red. He saw the grotto heaven spewing out crimson light as if thousands of divine flames were burning. This was a rare divine fire cave. Looking into the depths, one could even vaguely see the immortal Tao fire burning. Su Yin was moved. These mansions were incredible. They were like natural furnaces, a rare land of fortune with fire element. Of course, this was only one of them. Many mansions were very special and had different forms. Su Yin saw mansions in the middle. Majestic ripples of immortal Tao flowed out from one of the mansions. Innate runes were born inside, chanting scriptures and sprinkling immortal Tao runes as if they were going to outline a path to immortality. Su Yin was shocked. He focused on the mansions as if they were nurturing a true immortal. The immortal Tao aura inside was extremely dense, and a large amount of immortal Tao essence was stored inside. Su Yin even saw a field of ancient herbs at the entrance of the mansions. There was even a stalk of immortal Tao medicine that was dazzling and full of vitality. Su Yin gasped in amazement. It was not simple at all. There were even a total of 5 of such caves. This is the most precious mansions of our clan. There are 108 of them. All of them are top cultivation mansions. Zhu Yunli said with a smile. In the entire immortal heavenly domain, this is a priceless treasure. Do you see these mansions with true immortal Tao Qi? These are true immortal caves. True immortal caves. Fonda was shocked. There were 5 true immortal caves. Stepping into the true immortal realm from the pinnacle of the sempiternal realm was an extremely difficult realm to cross. In a world ruled by the immortal sex, they had set the rules of immortal matter. The continents were very strict in their control of immortal energy. Was it possible for a rogue cultivator without any power to occupy a heavenly paradise? Of course not, unless you were strong enough. The rules of survival in the immortal heavenly domain were much crueler than the Xianwang universe. The main reason was that there was only one immortal heavenly domain in the vast universe. There were too many wolves and too little meat. Without the support of a strong foundation, it was extremely difficult to cultivate to the immortal realm. However, this was not a problem for the disciples of immortal sections. At this moment, Su Yin realized that an immortal treasure was nothing. Immortal, immortal, immortal. Immortal? The Sky Bamboo clan had 5 true immortal caves. It was shocking. Many young experts who had just joined the clan were envious. They wanted to cultivate in these 108 top mansions. They had to be strong enough, or they had to contribute to the clan. What a great immortal Tao orthodoxy. It will be strange if they don't become powerful. Su Yin muttered in his heart. Even he wanted to enter and cultivate, let alone the others. This meant that all the forces in the immortal heavenly domain were providing new blood for the immortal Tao orthodoxy. Some elders of the clan were smiling. Who wouldn't be shocked by this? This was the foundation of their clan. It had been passed down since ancient times. It was also the cradle for them to nurture strong experts. Boom! All of a sudden, there was a loud explosion. Everyone looked at the deepest part of the immortal cave. A vast aura rushed out. It was as if the sea of stars was collapsing, and also as if a dragon was breathing. Kacha! Huge black cracks appeared in the space-time. Each crack penetrated very far, as if it was born into another space-time. The cracked area spat out a shocking amount of energy. This vast secret realm became blurry, and the sky started to darken. What a powerful formation! Su Yin was shocked. This was the sign of the formation at the pinnacle. It spat out a terrifying amount of immortal matter. When it gathered at the source, Su Yin saw the 9 heavens appear. At the top of the 9 heavens, a golden immortal cave was faintly discernible. It emitted an immeasurable amount of immortal aura. The whole world seemed to be under its feet. "What's that?" the crowd exclaimed. The golden immortal cave became more and more blazing. Billions of runes flowed, and a supreme aura appeared, suppressing all life in the universe. Suyan's face turned serious. The energy stolen by the pinnacle formation was cleansed one after another. There were 9 layers of cleansing, and finally, it penetrated into the golden immortal cave. The 9 layers of refinement pulled out all impurities and refined the purest energy. It was as if it had turned into a special furnace fire, causing the golden immortal cave to surge with blazing light. It became more and more astonishing. Merely an incense stick of time passed, and the golden immortal cave disappeared as if it had never appeared. Suyin could vaguely see a figure standing at the entrance of the golden immortal cave. It was like a high and mighty deity looking down on Xia, Kunlun, and the others, like an emperor inspecting his subjects. "Sooner or later, I'll go too." Zhu Yao clenched her fists. Her ambition was great. The true immortals present didn't explain to Fengde and the others because they knew that no matter how high their achievements were, they couldn't enter the golden immortal cave. In the golden immortal cave, there was a group of terrifying leaders in seclusion. They might have a chance to step into the realm of golden immortals. Zhu Yanghua still didn't have the qualifications to enter the golden immortal cave, but he could enjoy the supreme baptism of fortune in the outer region. As time passed, his strength became more and more unfathomable. Golden immortal cave. Suyin guessed. This was definitely the golden immortal cave, a supreme place of fortune created by the sky bamboo lineage. At this moment, a group of stewards rushed over and arranged a secret cultivation residence for Su Yin and the others. Su Yin had a secret residence to cultivate alone. He even had a group of maids and servants at his disposal. The secret cultivation residence was majestic, and the courtyard was very big. Yin sat cross-legged in the cultivation room. There was a unique array that gathered the energy of heaven and earth, and the immortal matter was extremely rich. It could be considered as a temporary settlement. Su Yin absorbed the immortal energy in the room to strengthen himself. However, Su Yan's life essence was too strong. The energy needed for a breakthrough was extremely vast, and he couldn't rush it. Su Yin woke up the giant bamboo in the middle of the night. "You're finally here." The giant bamboo woke up and sighed. It had been 1,000,000 years. It didn't expect to return to the family in such a form. It was silent for a moment and said, "How do you feel?" "My horizons have been broadened," Su Yin replied. "It's just a method." The giant bamboo said, "The place you're in is a cultivation area. The resources consumed in this cultivation area alone account for more than half of the clan's resources." "So much?" Su Yin was shocked. He thought that he had only seen the tip of the iceberg of the sky bamboo lineage. However, the result was different from what he had imagined. "If I don't subdue you, how can I make you work so hard?" The giant bamboo smiled. "Actually, the golden immortal cave is the one that consumes the most resources. It's about 30%. Su Yin was speechless. The true immortal cave's losses every year were ridiculous. It seemed that a supreme place of fortune that relied on manpower and resources was not something an ordinary immortal sect could afford. "Senior Giant Bamboo, what should we do next?" Su Yin asked. "There's no hurry. Although the family has changed and things have remained the same, some rules should be passed down from ancient times." The giant bamboo said in a deep voice, "I'll let you enter the clan with the identity of an extremely strong physical body. There's probably a chance of you entering the dragon transformation pool. Let's wait." Su Yin calmed down. The dragon transformation pool was one of the places of fortune for the sky bamboo lineage to strengthen the physical body. As long as he could enter the dragon transformation pool, he could also come into contact with the core of the sky bamboo lineage. There were some fortunes that the giant bamboo could take away. Time flew, and 3 months passed in the blink of an eye. Su Yin suppressed his realm and did not break through. In these 3 months, he had absorbed too much energy. With the help of the secret palace, he could step into the eighth heaven at any time. However, the giant bamboo told him to slow down and not rush to break through. On this day, a maid outside the door reported that Su Yin was to go to the outer sect elder compound. Could it be that they're coming? Su Yin rushed to the destination. There was already a group of young experts gathered there. Each of them was an outstanding talent with a strong physical body. The essence blood that leaked out was extremely vigorous, like a furnace of life burning. Su Yin, who was flying in from outside the door, caused the gazes of the 5 strong practitioners to sweep over. Immediately, an earth-shattering heavy pressure swept over. Su Yin furrowed his brows slightly as he resisted the pressure of their auras. He looked at them with a cold expression. Is this a wild cultivator? The 5 experts were surprised. This wild cultivator's physical body foundation was extremely strong. Xia Kunlun, you're taking your time. You're putting on airs. Come and greet your senior brothers. Fonda looked at Su Yin coldly. You didn't invite me. What does it have to do with you whether I'm putting on airs or not? Su Yin calmly replied. You. Fonda's face suddenly sank. He shouted, Xia Kunlun, don't think that you could be so arrogant just because you got a spot in the dragon transformation pool. You're not strong enough to deal with us. You'll know whether I'm strong enough or not after you try. Su Yin stood with his hands behind his back. His long black hair draped over his shoulders. His deep eyes stared at them coldly. Su Yin was also surprised. He did not expect that he would get a spot in the dragon transformation pool in just 3 months. These words angered the 4 experts. Their auras were about to merge, forming a vast tide of blood energy that destroyed the void. It was extremely powerful. Oomph. Su Yin coldly snorted. Terrifying blood essence seeped out of his body, causing the void to tremble. How dare he? Fonda's expression changed. This was too arrogant. Did he dare to fight with the 5 of them? You wild brat. How dare you behave so atrociously in the Elder Hall? Kneel down and accept your punishment. Outside the door, a suffocating destructive force came crushing over. Even space was being squeezed until it was distorted. The person who rushed over was a tall and sturdy man. He was over 3 meters tall and had bulging muscles all over his body. He looked somewhat ferocious. He raised his fist and smashed it towards Su Yan's face. Look, it's Dong Qua. This brute can't take it anymore. With his battle prowess, he can easily deal with Xia Kunlun. Everyone in the hall laughed. One had to know that there were only 6 spots in the dragon transformation pool. However, due to the arrival of Su Yan's group, 2 spots were squeezed out. One was Xia Kunlun, and the other was Fonda. Originally, Fonda would not have been able to get a spot, but his brother was Feng Rong, and Zhu Gaoga had spoken up for him. In the end, he replaced Dong Qua. Chapter 1419. Senior elders and some people in the Outer Core Elder Council wanted to stop them from fighting. However, Zhu Yuanli waved his hand and stopped them. He also wanted to see just how strong Xia Kunlun was. He had represented Zhu Yao and fought for Su Yin with great difficulty to obtain a spot on the roster. Bang! Dong Qua's combat strength was extremely strong. He was born with divine strength, and his face was ferocious. His red hair danced in the wind as he raised his fist and punched towards Su Yan's head. This clearly left no room for negotiation. As long as Xia Kunlun was crippled, Dong Qua could still obtain the spot. A cold light flashed in Su Yan's eyes. As he saw the bull-sized fist rushing towards him, he calmly stood there and stretched out a hand to grab Dong Qua's fist. If I beat you up, the spot for the dragon transformation pool will be mine. Dong Qua roared. His strength was shocking, and his explosive strength was astonishing. His fist came crashing down with a ferocious momentum. Su Yin looked relatively weak and lacked a domineering aura. But as Fonda saw Dong Qua block with his palm, he couldn't help but laugh. Are you looking to die? It looks like your arm will be crippled. If you're injured, you will no longer have the qualifications to enter the dragon transformation pool. The opening of the dragon transformation pool will not be delayed because of you. Dong Qua couldn't afford to offend Fonda, but could he not afford to offend a wild cultivator? Bang! This fist was heavy and fierce. As it smashed into Su Yan's palm, The sound of thunder erupted, deafening to the ears. However, the 5 great powerhouses who were watching the show were stunned. Su Yan's arm didn't move at all. His body was tall and straight as he stood between the heavens and earth. His black hair fell over his shoulders, and he was so calm that it was suffocating. "I don't care who you are. Don't provoke me," Su Yin coldly replied. "You wild cultivator. You stole my spot. I will kill you." Dong Kor roared. How could he be so easily convinced? His aura rose once more, and a ferocious aura surged out. Light beams of order gushed out from his pores, forming the outline of a vicious dragon. It coiled around his body as Dong Kor revived. Roar! The resurrection of the evil dragon caused Dong Kor's ferocious aura to surge forth. He once again charged toward Su Yin. The commotion was huge. Dong Kor was like the reincarnation of an evil dragon. His aura filled the entire space, and his explosive power was quite strong. All the strength in his body was pushed out, and it turned into a huge evil dragon that charged at Su Yin. Boom! All of a sudden, a loud thunderclap exploded, causing the entire outer court elder courtyard to shake. Look! A senior elder was alarmed when he saw Su Yin erupt with power. His movements were simply too fast, awakening in the blink of an eye. A demonic god moved, the scene overflowing into the heavens. The sky was torn apart, and a ferocious aura exploded. It was a figure so fast that it was difficult to see it clearly with the naked eye. It had already arrived in front of Dong Kor, and the qi and blood rising from its body formed a raging sea that rushed towards Dong Kor. Pooh! Dong Kor spat out a mouthful of blood and was blasted flying, smashing into a distant mountain. Su Yan's black hair danced in the wind, and his eyes were like lightning. A powerful aura exploded in all directions, suppressing the other 4 experts except for Fengde. Moreover, Su Yan closed in on Dong Kor with large strides. Before he arrived, the rocks on the ground were shaking, and then they were annihilated. The terrifying energy also rushed towards Dong Kor. No! Dong Kor was in despair. He endured the pain and roared, "Big brother, spare me, big brother. Someone told me that you were not strong enough and took away my quota." "Who told you?" Su Yin shouted coldly. His expression was cold as he looked down at Dong Kor, making him even more distressed. Soon, his blood-stained finger pointed at Fengde. Fengde's heart skipped a beat, but he quickly calmed down and said coldly, "Xia Kunlun, we are all cultivating in the same place. What's wrong with exchanging pointers?" "What? You don't like me?" Su Yan's battle aura was boiling. He stared at Fengde coldly and shouted, "If you are not convinced, come and fight me." "You." Fengde was furious. His eyes were cold, but he was able to keep calm. He said coldly, "Don't worry. I am cultivating a heaven art now, and it is not suitable for me to use martial arts. When I finish, I will fight with you. At that time, I will make you accept your defeat wholeheartedly. If you don't dare, then shut up." Su Yin shouted. "Bastard, we will see." Fengde was furious. He was indeed cultivating a heaven art. Although the Feng family was powerful, they had a limited collection of immortal Tao scriptures. His brother Feng Rong had already obtained a powerful heaven art from the sky bamboo. With Feng Rong's status in Zhu Gaoge, it was not a problem for him to get an immortal Tao scripture. When he finished cultivating it, he would definitely be able to enter the top 10,000. Men, carry Dong Kor away. At this time, Zhu Yuanli and the others arrived. An elder called for a follower to carry Dong Kor away. Then, he said sternly, "The Elder Council forbids martial arts. Seeing that you are all newcomers, I will give you a warning. There will be no next time." "Thank you, Elder." The group hurriedly went forward to pay their respects. "All right, since everyone is here, let's go." Most of the outer sect elders were half-step true immortals. Even if there were true immortal realm elders, they rarely cared about these trivial matters. Most of them were cultivating in the secret palace. The Dragon Transformation Pool was a top-notch treasure ground of the Sky Bamboo lineage. It was only open twice a year. In fact, If it were not for the opening of the Myriad Tri-Battlefield, the Sky Bamboo lineage would not be willing to give the Dragon Transformation Pool to the Outer Sect factions. There was a small teleportation array in the Outer Sect Elder Council. Through the teleportation array, they quickly rushed to a heavily guarded, forbidden area in the Ancestral Land. The forbidden area was very big. There were layers of seals, and many areas were guarded by experts. There were many treasure grounds in the forbidden area. The Dragon Transformation Pool was one of them. They were really careful. They used the teleportation array to come and go. Su-Yin thought to himself. This area was already isolated by the field. He could not see what was around him. Boom! There was a giant pool sealed in front of them. It was as big as a lake. The moment the seal was lifted, divine light scattered the clouds. It was dazzling and blazing. It pierced through the sky, forming a shocking vision. In the Dragon Transformation Pool, immortal energy was abundant. Essence Chi was like dragons soaring. This was a scene of millions of Essence Chi dragons soaring into the sky. Of course, the energy was not important. The greatest use of the Dragon Transformation Pool was that there was a large amount of immortal Dao Stone energy. Combined with various rare herbs and precious immortal stones, the Dragon Transformation Pool could strengthen one's blood and nourish the body. Of course, there was also the miraculous effect of strengthening one's life essence. Generally speaking, the Dragon Transformation Pool was not difficult to create. What was difficult was the divine liquid refined by endless resources. What a Dragon Transformation Pool! Su-Yin was moved. There was a huge amount of divine liquid stored here. No wonder the giant bamboo had waited until now. Fonda and the others cannot wait. They all rushed in. There were 6 Dao platforms above the Dragon Transformation Pool. They could allow 6 people to cultivate at the same time. Su-Yin sat cross-legged in the center. His body immediately glowed. This was the endless essence Qi cleansing his flesh shell. It caused his blood to rush out of his body and surround him. It made Su-Yin look like a golden god. As soon as the other 5 sat down, they frantically absorbed the energy. The Dragon Transformation Pool could only exist for 3 days. Every breath was extremely important to them. Su-Yin drew on the endless power of the Dragon Transformation Pool to cleanse his body. During this process, he clearly felt that the power of the Dragon Transformation Pool could strengthen one's life essence. Unfortunately, Su-Yan's life essence was too strong. It was difficult to strengthen it with the Dragon Transformation Pool alone. However, the energy in the Dragon Transformation Pool was greatly beneficial to Su-Yan's body foundation. Ever since he stepped into the immortal realm, Su-Yin had not undergone systematic cultivation. Chapter 1420. Su-Yan's emotions surged. Just how heaven-defying was the number 1 precious medicine of an immortal sect. He knew about the reincarnation elixir. The world hailed it as the ultimate precious medicine. It was said to be the most powerful precious medicine in the world. Only those that could match it could not surpass it. This meant that the ultimate precious medicine was already at its limit. Right now, the immortal medicine was of great importance to Su-Yin. It could strengthen one's life essence and improve one's aptitude. Every stock of immortal medicine was extremely valuable. There were definitely many immortal medicines in the Sky Bamboo lineage. However, these were not for sale. Immortal sects would never sell them. Immortal medicines were of great help to both the immortal realm and the immortal Dao realm. Su-Yin lay dormant in the ancient land filled with a strange medicinal fragrance. He could sense that there were some terrifying bosses whose auras were faintly discernible here. They were in a state of semi-hibernation. He was shocked. It was not just one of them. Su-Yin had not thoroughly investigated how many of them there were. He cautiously followed his senses and approached his destination. At this time, Su-Yan's expression was grave. Although the medicinal fragrance was still there, the path ahead was cut off. This domain layout is incredible. Su-Yin was shocked. Even a powerful 8th-grade grandmaster like him seemed to be facing a huge dragon of heaven and earth. It was difficult for him to deal with it, and even difficult for him to attack. The number one precious medicine must be protected by a supreme formation, the giant bamboo replied. I'll leave it to you to break this formation. Once you enter, you'll be able to see the number one precious medicine. I wonder if this stock of medicine is in a mature state. The number one precious medicine had been in the sky bamboo lineage for a long time. It had gone through many cycles of reincarnation and nurtured many geniuses. Now, the giant bamboo was not sure if the precious medicine here had reached the stage of blossoming or bearing fruit. Su Yin calmed down. His figure hid in the terrain, becoming one with the energy of the earth veins. As long as they did not search inch by inch, the protectors here would not be able to discover Su Yin. He focused on the domain layout in front of him. It was as if he was looking at a huge furnace of heaven and earth. There was no end in sight. Although there was a peerless formation concealing it, there was still a medicinal fragrance leaking out. Sometimes, the order symbols appeared in the vast gravitational field. Each of the order symbols was like the pressure of the space and time of the heaven domain, which was the supreme power of the heaven. Su Yin became more and more alarmed. The field formation was strong enough, and it was even strengthened by a terrifying giant. It was impossible for them to force their way through. Even if they could find a shortcut and open a path, it would still be difficult. Did you see anything? Juju asked after a long while. They didn't have much time left. I can't stay here forever. The array is still manageable. I have the ability to break it. However, with the power of an expert supporting the array, it will be much more difficult. Su Yin shook his head, causing the giant bamboo to feel extremely regretful. But soon after, Su Yin asked in a low voice, however, can it be broken through by force? Forcefully breaking it? Juju said in surprise, you should know what kind of place this is. Once you make a commotion, you might lose your life here. Hearing this, Su Yin said confidently, that won't happen. I can use a special method to activate the force field formation and suppress the order energy that's added to it. However, I'll need some materials to assist me. It shouldn't be difficult to find them in Sky Bamboo City. All right, as long as you are confident. The number one supreme treasure is worth the risk. Juju heaved a sigh of relief. They were in a dangerous situation. Su Yin didn't have absolute confidence and couldn't act rashly. I can only wait. Su Yin started to return along the path, erasing all traces of him along the way. Su Yin didn't even hurry to return to the dragon transformation pool. He continued to explore the forbidden area. Along the way, he discovered many immortal treasures that made him jealous. However, Su Yin suppressed the impulse in his heart. He explored the forbidden area inside and outside and found some coordinates. When he came again, he could definitely sneak in. The Sky Bamboo lineage was a big family with an ancient heritage. They had never imagined that someone would take the risk to sneak into their forbidden area. Although the forbidden area was heavily guarded, it was just a trick. Even the guards were in a half-asleep state. If they didn't make a commotion, they wouldn't wake up. After all, a long time had passed, and there had never been a case of a treasure in the forbidden area losing. Seeing that 3 days were about to pass, Su Yin hurried back to the dragon transformation pool. The dragon transformation pool's energy was greatly depleted. On the 6 Dao platforms, everyone had obtained great benefits. Their blood and qi were much denser and more vigorous. They had all reaped great benefits. I can break through. Su Yin's spiritual will returned. He felt that his current physical body could no longer suppress it. At this moment, Zhu Yuanli and the others looked at Su Yin. They saw his aura suddenly surge. He was breaking through. His body glowed and contained a terrifying aura. This was the beginning of the birth of a large amount of immortal matter. He was advancing toward the 8th layer. Su Yin crazily absorbed the energy of the dragon transformation pool, excavating the immortal energy in his body. With every breath, the energy around Su Yin was rapidly depleted. It was even difficult to satisfy Su Yan's cultivation. Suddenly, the energy around Su Yan's Dao platform began to be snatched away. Su Yan's eyes were cold as he looked at Fengde. Fengde's expression was cold as he circulated an immortal Dao Sutra. His entire body seemed to have turned into a huge vortex, spitting out an astonishing amount of energy. Kid, the dragon transformation pool's energy is limited. I need to borrow some. Fonda sneered. Want to break through? How could it be so easy? He could intercept the energy around Su Yan's Dao platform and completely cut off his breakthrough. They knew very well that breaking through in the Dragon Transformation Pool had great benefits. It would produce a large amount of immortal matter. Not good. Zhu Yuanli's expression was ugly, but he couldn't stop it. The Dragon Transformation Pool didn't have a rule that forbade stealing other people's energy. You're really courting death. It just so happens that I don't have enough energy. It seemed that I have to thank you. I didn't know that the Dragon Transformation Pool could steal other people's resources. Su Yan closed his eyes. In an instant, his body was resurrected. The human body's functions were terrifying. He turned into a huge vortex and secretly stole the energy of the Dragon Transformation Pool with a body-nourishing art. Almost instantly, the energy that Fonda had been absorbing from the Dragon Transformation Pool was dried up. Even the energy absorbed by the other 4 overlords had been greatly reduced. Xia Kunlun, Fonda's expression changed, and he panicked. He had also reached a critical moment in his cultivation, but Su Yan had taken away a huge amount of energy. What a domineering absorption! The group of elders were alarmed. A huge furnace had appeared behind Su Yan. As it spat, the energy of the entire Dragon Transformation Pool was swallowed up. The huge furnace of life refined the energy of the Dragon Transformation Pool and penetrated Su Yan's body. The energy in the Dragon Transformation Pool was terrifying. Who would dare to absorb it like that? However, Su Yan's method was too domineering. He directly absorbed the energy of the entire Dragon Transformation Pool and penetrated his body, making his aura even more shocking. The body-nourishing art was so domineering that as long as Su Yan wanted, they wouldn't be able to get a single bit of the energy of the Dragon Transformation Pool. Be stop! The 4 overlords shouted as if their wives had been stolen. They frantically tried to take the energy that Su Yan had taken away. Su Yan's expression was cold. He used the energy of the Dragon Transformation Pool to accelerate his breakthrough. His aura was heavy and oppressive. Be Xia Kunlun, don't make a mistake. Do you know what you're doing? Fonda was furious, but he couldn't do anything to Su Yan even though he tried to stop him many times. Su Yan's expression was cold as he used the energy of the Dragon Transformation Pool to nourish his bones, flesh, and organs. It had to be said that this feeling was very refreshing and delightful. The Dragon Transformation Pool was no small matter. It had given Su Yan a lot. This was something he didn't even dare to imagine before. Now, under the nourishment of endless energy, the immortal matter in his body was rapidly growing stronger. Xia Kunlun. Fonda was furious. Su Yan had been ignoring him all this time. He lowered his attitude and said, "If the elders know, they'll definitely punish you. You should stop now." Hearing this, Su Yan glanced at him coldly and said, "I can stop. You made me unhappy just now, so you want me to apologize until you're satisfied." You. Fonda was so angry that his lungs were trembling. Apologize to a wild cultivator? Was he crazy? Xia Kunlun, is there a need to implicate us in your grudge with him? At this moment, the other 4 overlords wanted to die. They didn't know that a wild cultivator like Xia Kunlun would have such a strong ability to spit out energy. If this continued, the Dragon Transformation Pool would be monopolized by him. I don't know who joined forces with him just now, Su Yan replied coldly. What do you want? Say something. Someone suppressed his anger and asked. It's very simple. As long as he apologizes, everything can be discussed, Su Yan replied and closed his eyes again. The 4 mighty ones glared angrily at Fonda. If they were unable to obtain the opportunity to enter the Dragon Transformation Pool, and even had it taken away from them, it would have been a great humiliation for them. Furthermore, the lineage of the Sky Bamboo lineage behind them would have looked down on them. You want me to apologize? You're just a wild cultivator. Stop dreaming. Fonda was so angry that his whole body was trembling. If he didn't apologize, these 4 overlords wouldn't give him any face. But how could he, Fonda, apologize to a wild cultivator? But as soon as he thought of the struggle for the life essence evolution fluid, Fengde's arrogant head immediately drooped down. He said in a low voice, "I was wrong just now. Is this okay?" Su Yin was still cultivating and didn't pay attention to Fengde. He was trying his best to absorb as much as he could. The outer sect elders definitely wouldn't sit by and do nothing about this. He would absorb as much as he could. Don't go overboard. Fengde was so angry that his hair stood on end. Anger burned in his heart as he gritted his teeth. The four overlords looked over again. Fengde gritted his teeth and endured the humiliation. He lowered his head again and apologized. Barely. Su Yin opened his eyes and relaxed his body, nurturing art's absorption. The four overlords heaved a sigh of relief. But when they noticed that the dragon transformation pool's energy had been depleted, they almost spat out blood. Xia Kunlun. Fengde was so angry that his hair stood on end. He glared at him and roared in his heart, "Just you wait. This isn't over with you. If I don't cripple you, my name isn't Fengde." Fengde was so angry that he was about to explode. He had apologized, but the dragon transformation pool's energy was gone. The bamboo origin force and the others were dumbfounded. This absorption speed was ridiculous. Boom! All of a sudden, a loud thunderclap exploded, shaking the entire dragon transformation pool. Su Yan's aura suddenly became much more terrifying. His chi and blood surged from his treasure body and flooded the sky. A large amount of immortal matter was born in his body. Xia Kunlun, the bamboo origin force, was overjoyed. Originally, Su Yan's principal spirit and immortal matter were very weak under the sky bamboo tablet's reflection. Now, under the nourishment of the dragon transformation pool, the immortal matter in his body climbed several times, and his combat strength increased exponentially. Wisps of terrifying aura spread out and shook the dragon transformation pool. Su Yan's aura was exceptionally strong. At the same time, he used the incomplete cauldron to suppress his overbearing vitality. I finally broke through. Su Yan's eyes flashed with joy. He had cultivated to the 8th level of the immortal realm. He was only one step away from the 9th level. Not bad. In the distant world, gazes of approval were cast over. Someone said, "Although he's a young man from an outer sect, he's still a talent. Our clan is in need of talents. The competition in the 10,000 races battlefield is extremely cruel. This person is worth nurturing." Chapter 1421. Su Yan's breakthrough had attracted the attention of the elders of the Sky Bamboo lineage. After all, this was the forbidden area of the Sky Bamboo lineage. The elders who occupied this area were all peak true immortals and had great authority in the clan. Now, they had high hopes for Su Yin and were sure that he would be a fierce general if groomed. Fengde's expression was particularly ugly. The dragon transformation pool only opened once every 6 months. It was a good opportunity for them to attract the attention of the upper echelons. But in the end, Su Yin had taken advantage of it. The other 4 experts' expressions were ugly as well. They glared at Fengde angrily, their hearts hollow like a lake. If he hadn't caused trouble, he wouldn't have offended Xia Kunlun. Now, the dragon transformation pool's energy had been exhausted. Everything had benefited Su Yin. The dragon transformation pool's fortune had ended, and the group began to return. When they returned to the outer sect elder courtyard through the transportation array, Su Yan's gaze was focused on the ancient array platform. On the green array platform, there were densely packed array patterns. There were layers upon layers of array diagrams, and there were at least 100 of them. Looks like this isn't just a transportation array that leads to the forbidden area. From the outer sect to the inner sect, one has to cross an extremely vast territory. That's why this transportation array is here. Su Yin thought to himself. This was also a place that one had to pass through to reach the forbidden area. He only took a few glances before retracting his gaze and walking toward the secret palace. However, just as he walked out of the outer sect elder courtyard, Su Yan's expression changed slightly. He had caught an extremely majestic aura. It was a little far from here, but he had still sensed it. Immediately after, his heart was shaken. He looked into the distance and saw beams of divine light blossoming one after another, piercing through heaven and earth. Every beam of divine light was like a flower of the great Tao, blooming in the starry sky. Su Yin looked through the earth and saw the source. It was a majestic, immortal mountain that was like a natural alchemy furnace. The furnace fire was blazing as it refined a shocking treasure liquid. Boom! The disturbance was too great. The immortal mountain shone. Furnace flames blazed, and in the end, it erupted with millions and millions of strands of auspicious multicolored light, accompanied by the blossoming of boundless vitality. It was like an ocean that drowned out the world, and then a vast and mighty, auspicious sign radiated out from millions of li. What a powerful aura of life. What is concocting in here? There's even an immortal mountain as a furnace. This is too extravagant. This immortal mountain is a natural furnace for concocting pills. This must be one of the best places in the world for concocting pills. Su Yin was amazed. The immortal mountain spewed out life energy, and on the immortal mountain cauldron, some stone carvings appeared. Su Yin seemed to see an ancient alchemist walking out of the stone carvings, laying down an alchemy seal that penetrated into the immortal mountain. This also caused the immortal mountain to become more and more extraordinary. It was like an extremely powerful pill refining furnace that sat within the ancestral land, devouring the essence of the world, sun, and moon to refine the precious medicines within the furnace. Is the life essence evolution fluid about to be completed? Suddenly, an excited voice sounded in Su Yan's ears. Raging waves rose in his heart. This was the refining of life essence evolution fluid. Elder, what is the evolution fluid? Su Yan went forward to ask humbly. The bamboo origin force was extremely proud. Just the collection of materials for this furnace of evolution fluid had taken the clan tens of thousands of years. Moreover, there was hope to refine a grade 7 evolution fluid from the life essence evolution fluid. Grade 7. Su Yan's heart palpitated with excitement. The bamboo origin force didn't hide anything from Su Yan. He told Su Yan how important the evolution fluid was. If the clan hadn't accidentally obtained some precious medicinal ingredients, they wouldn't have the qualifications to refine it into grade 7. As for grade 8, their clan had refined it before, but it was also because of great luck that they obtained extremely precious medicinal ingredients. The life essence evolution fluid is about to be extracted. The sky bamboo lineage was a boiling cauldron of voices. Many disciples were envious and wanted to obtain a portion of the evolution fluid. This thing was related to their future achievements. Who wouldn't value it and covet it? Only a few immortal orthodoxies had the qualifications to refine the evolution fluid. Su Yin hurried back to his residence. Giant Bamboo couldn't hold it in any longer and said, "The life essence evolution fluid has shown signs of auspiciousness for the first time. From the looks of it, it's very likely to be refined into grade 7. This level is of great help even to the immortal Tao realm. The refinement area is heavily guarded. No one can enter." Su Yin felt that it was a pity. You still want to steal? There's hope in the golden immortal cave, but don't even think about the immortal mountain refinement area. You'll die if you go. Giant Bamboo couldn't help but laugh. Then he said in a low voice, "The life essence evolution fluid is of great importance. The refining process will take a long time. We'll refine the low-grade one first before refining the high-grade one." "Senior, you mean?" Su Yan's eyes lit up. "This is an excellent opportunity. Once it's refined, the clan will have a large number of experts overseeing it." Su Yan was a little confused. Would someone come to fight for it? Actually, this wasn't something to be surprised about. Something similar had happened before. Of course, the most important thing was the formula. The immortal sects and orthodoxies had fought for it before. The battle between the two factions was truly tragic. Billions of lives were lost, and the immortal sects and orthodoxies would be destroyed. Su Yin was full of anticipation. If a large number of experts were overseeing the pill furnace, it would indeed be an excellent opportunity to make a move. Then, he went into seclusion to study the field layout of the number 1 supreme medicine. Time was very limited. Su Yin had to be prepared to make a move at any time in the shortest time possible. While Su Yin transformed into the 3 pure ones and studied the field layout, his second incarnation went to the scripture pavilion to read up on the immortal treasure materials. He studied the properties of these minerals. His third incarnation didn't stay idle. He studied this secret art, robbery path. This secret art is getting harder and harder to study. Su Yin realized that it was very difficult to continue studying this secret art. He estimated that he would have to open up the immortal path in the next stage. In fact, the current power of the Tao of robbery was already extremely heaven-defying. He had once tried it out in Green Mountain City, but the result was that Zhu Yao couldn't resist at all. One had to admit that this secret technique born from the Xianhuang universe was extremely powerful. Time flew by. 10 days had passed. Su Yin was about to go out to buy some materials when Zhu Yuanli came to visit him personally. Su Yin pretended to be flattered and stood up to welcome him. Su Yin, your performance in the Dragon Transformation Pond was outstanding. You have attracted the attention of some big shots. Zhu Yuanli chuckled. Plus, Zhu Yao spoke up for you. I specially asked for 2 golden core great medicines from the clan's treasury. Golden core great medicines. Su Yin was pleasantly surprised. He quickly said, "Thank you for your guidance, Elder. How can I repay your kindness?" "Haha." Zhu Yuanli laughed loudly and patted Su Yan's shoulder. He said passionately, "Why are you being so polite? As long as you display your talents, you can get even more. There's also a great hope for the evolution fluid. I see that your strength has increased quite a bit during this period. Go to the Sky Bamboo Steel and test your results. Remember, Xia Kunlun," Zhu Yuanli said seriously, "the stronger you are, the greater your chances of obtaining a grade 5 evolution fluid. You have to know that this item is too precious and the quota is limited. The clan will go all out to nurture a grade 7 evolution fluid. Hence, the amount of evolution fluids below grade 6 will be extremely limited." "I understand. I will go to the Sky Bamboo Steel immediately." Zhu Yuanli was very satisfied with Su Yan's attitude. His running errands for resources had not been in vain. He laughed heartily. "No rush. I heard your powerful opponent, Feng De, has improved his ranking again and will soon enter the top 10,000. He has the support of his elder brother, so it's not strange for him to improve so quickly. You can't fall behind, either. Refine the 2 pills before you go. Grade 8 Soul Strengthening Pill. Grade 8 Body Nourishing Pill. Of these 2 pills, the Soul Strengthening Pill can strengthen the primordial spirit, while the Body Nourishing Pill can produce large amounts of immortal matter. Both are extremely important to you and can definitely increase your strength." "Many thanks, Elder." Su Yin was pleasantly surprised. How could he not know the value of these 2 pills? They couldn't be bought without tens of thousands of immortal treasure herbs. Then, Zhu Yuanli gave Su Yin the resources he could receive this month, a small amount of immortal Tao stones and immortal treasure herbs. Immortal Tao stones were rare resources, and the Sky Bamboo lineage wouldn't give them to outer disciples in large amounts. The great Zhu Yao only had a few thousand kilograms in stock. Not long after, Zhu Yuanli stood up and left. Su Yin put away the pills. He purposely stayed for a day and a night before leaving for Sky Bamboo City. The entire Sky Bamboo continent was the territory of the Sky Bamboo lineage. Sky Bamboo City wasn't just the most prosperous city in the Sky Bamboo continent. It was also a famous immortal Tao city in the immortal sky domain. It was said that this city was personally overseen by a true immortal of the great firmament. Su Yin went to a large store. Inside, there were all kinds of rare treasures that dazzled one's eyes. Su Yin had gathered more than half of the treasure materials he needed. However, the prices were extremely high. Su Yin had spent close to 6,000 immortal treasure herbs. Then, he went to the next store. After going back and forth for half a day, he finally gathered all the materials he needed. However, he had almost used up all the immortal treasure herbs he had. It seems like immortal Tao stones are the most valuable currency in the central region of the immortal sky domain. Su Yin thought to himself. Soon, he walked towards the Sky Bamboo Steel. Sky Bamboo City was bustling and rich. People came and went in an endless stream on the streets. If one were to stroll around the city, They wouldn't be able to finish strolling around in a year. This city was too big, and it was boundless. It was like a cosmic city. Suyin wanted to speed up, but his face suddenly darkened. A familiar figure suddenly appeared in front of Suyin. It was an old man with snow-white hair. His body was stooped, and he was in low spirits. He often sighed. He was like a walking corpse in the prosperous city. He had lost his essence, chi, and spirit. His old face was filled with grief. He often missed the past. However, the shocking change in life was worse than death. However, he couldn't die even if he wanted to. There was a black mark on his forehead. It was like a special soul fire that locked his primordial spirit. He wandered around some stores in the city and asked about some things. Suyin followed him all the way. He stared at the old man without blinking. His nose was a little sour. It's been hard on him. Giant Bamboo sighed. Who was he? He was a sky bamboo powerhouse. In the universe of Xianhuang, he was a big shot that could make all the big races tremble with a stomp of his foot. Even though the universe's environment had returned, the sky bamboo powerhouse still had the pride of a sky bamboo powerhouse. In the past, he was an unreachable god to Suyin. However, the current sky bamboo powerhouse was a lowly servant. He would often cry in the middle of the night. He wanted to die, but he couldn't. To him, his family was gone, and his hope was gone. What was the point of living? He was just a walking corpse. There was no hope. Suyin followed him until late at night. When he arrived at a place with few streets, Suyin made his move. He raised his hand and pulled the sky bamboo powerhouse to a deserted alley. Who is it? The old man woke up and struggled. However, Suyin's strength was too shocking. He suppressed the sky bamboo powerhouse. Suyin's heart was filled with sorrow as he said, "It's me, Suyin." Chapter 14:22. The heavenly bamboo, Almighty's aura, was declining. His hair was snow-white, and he was no longer as elegant as before. Every day in heavenly bamboo city felt like a year. Although he lived in a bustling, ancient city, his life was gloomy. He could not see any light, and he spent his days suffocating. However, at this moment, the heavenly bamboo Almighty was crying. He felt like he was dreaming. He saw a young man who was too familiar. He would never forget him in this lifetime. However, the human emperor who was the pride of billions of beings in the Xianhuang universe had fallen. He was buried in the darkness, dying together with his enemies. But now, the heavenly bamboo Almighty saw Suyin. Was he still alive? Patriarch Bamboo Moon walked out of the space-time treasure. She lost control of her emotions. Her eyes were red, and tears fell. Back then, if the heavenly bamboo Almighty hadn't knelt and kowtowed until his head bled, and was even willing to be a slave, she would have been killed by Zhu Yao. Am I dreaming? The heavenly bamboo Almighty let out a beast-like roar. His chest heaved violently. Suyin was still here, and even Bamboo Moon was still here. This was his hope. It had been shattered. However, they were still here. They were still alive. It's been hard on you all these years. Suyin clenched his fists and suppressed the emotions in his heart. He said, "We're all good. We're still alive." The heavenly bamboo Almighty was so excited that he couldn't speak. He seemed to have become dozens of years younger. He lost control and said, "The heavens took pity on me and let me live until now to see you." Ha ha ha, Suyin sighed. He had found the heavenly bamboo Almighty, and his heart had been relieved. The heavenly bamboo Almighty calmed down a lot. He said in shock, "How did you come here? You're even in heavenly bamboo city?" "We've been here for a while." Suyin also taught Zhu Yao a lesson. Bamboo Moon didn't hide anything. She wanted to make the old man feel better. "Could it be you?" The heavenly bamboo Almighty was shocked. He thought of the young Devil King. He had heard some rumors. That person was Suyin. Zhu Yao, that vicious woman. She has suffered retribution. Tianju's Almighty's mood was surging. His entire being seemed to have been rejuvenated. Crying and laughing, he said, "Bamboo Moon, your Fa Xiang seed is still here. She doesn't have the ability to refine it now. You know the location of the Dharma characteristic seeds?" Suyin's eyes flashed coldly. His biggest mission at the Sky Bamboo branch was to obtain the Dharma characteristic seeds. Zhu Yao wants to refine the Deyuan golden pill, so that she can fuse with the sky bamboo aspect seed. The sky bamboo, almighty, said angrily. This evil woman is delusional. The golden Dayuan pill was a tier 9 medicinal pill. Although it was a lower grade tier 9 medicinal pill, its value was still quite shocking. Ever since the Sky Bamboo Almighty had been brought to Sky Bamboo City, Zhu Yao had never revealed anything about him. She had arranged for him to stay in Sky Bamboo City and even search for the various herbs needed to refine the Golden Dayuan pill. With Zhu Yao's ability, she was definitely not qualified to obtain a Golden Major Essence pill. However, she had Zhu Lihui's support behind her. Su Yin, we cannot let Zhu Yao succeed, the Sky Bamboo Almighty said hatefully. The Sky Bamboo Powerhouse said hatefully, this vicious woman has great ambitions. Once she fuses with the Sky Bamboo Dharma characteristic seed, her status will be the same as Zhu Yanghua's. It will be difficult to keep her in check then. These days, the Sky Bamboo Almighty had lived in Sky Bamboo City and had a deep understanding of the undying sky domain. There were many geniuses in the world. What was Zhu Yanghua's status? He was too noble and terrifying. What did the big and small universes in the void count for in their eyes? If Zhu Yao was nurtured by the Sky Bamboo branch, it would be difficult to kill her in the future. The Sky Bamboo Almighty said a lot to Su Yin. You said that there are some precious materials that can only be obtained at an auction? Su Yin was moved. Could it be that even a Zenith Heaven perfected immortal could not find all the materials needed to refine a Tier 9 Golden Dayuan pill? Yes, according to the time, there will be half a year later. At that time, there will be a major auction. When she has gathered all the materials, she will invite an alchemist to refine the pill. The Sky Bamboo Almighty's words made Su Yan's eyes shine with killing intent. The blood in his heart was boiling. This news was too important. Zhu Yao would definitely not refine the pill in the family. This matter was still sealed. She would definitely choose to refine it outside. This is a great opportunity. This news gave Su Yin an important clue. It was hard to say who the Golden Dayuan pill would belong to. At this time, Su Yan's frontal bone released a powerful soul aura that rushed into the Sky Bamboo Almighty's sea of knowledge. However, in a sea of knowledge, there was an illusory woman with her eyes closed. This was one of Zhu Yao's primordial spirit avatars. If he tried to break it by force, Zhu Yao would immediately know. Su Yin, you don't have to worry about me now. The Sky Bamboo Almighty straightened his back and said, I don't care about life or death. I can now listen to Zhu Yao's movements. You will immediately know her plans. The giant bamboo moved. An array of soul light floated into the Sky Bamboo Almighty's body. It was the patriarch of the Xianwang universe's Sky Bamboo lineage. In terms of status, it was equivalent to a progenitor. The Sky Bamboo Almighty's Sky Bamboo Dharma idol was more or less closely related to the giant bamboo. This ray of soul light directly merged with the Sky Bamboo Almighty's Dharma idol seed. This way, the giant bamboo could grasp the Sky Bamboo Almighty's location at any time. At the same time, the giant bamboo used a secret soul technique to comb through the Sky Bamboo Almighty's memories, hiding the memory of meeting Su Yin and the others. His methods were extremely profound. He had even taught the Sky Bamboo Almighty a strange secret technique that allowed him to hide his memories at any time. Someone's coming. It was almost late at night. Su Yin sensed a group of people rushing into this alley. His figure disappeared, and he stood at the end of the alley. He was cold because it was someone he knew. Bamboo Sect. Bamboo Moon gritted her teeth. It was her. If Tsang Tian had not betrayed her, things would not have developed to this extent. Old thing, where have you been? You haven't returned to report for so long. Are you tired of living? Bamboo Sect's expression was cold. His cultivation had already stepped into the immortal realm. He ordered his subordinates to beat him up. Rage raged in Su Yan's heart, and his eyes were extremely cold. However, he could only endure it. He still had important things to plan. Whether it was Bamboo Sect or the Sky Bamboo Almighty, if anything happened to either of them, it would make Zhu Yao think of the bound yellow universe. After all, he had attacked many times in the Green Mountain continent and had exposed a lot of information. Bamboo Sect was Zhu Yao's favorite person. He had many subordinates who had been in Sky Bamboo City all these years to find traces of medicinal herbs for Zhu Yao. Stop beating him. This old thing doesn't even say a word. Bamboo Sect's expression was gloomy. He looked at the beaten Sky Bamboo Almighty and said coldly, "Old thing, what's wrong with following Lord Zhu Yao? As for Su Yin and Bamboo Moon, that old woman, they have long turned into bones. The bound yellow universe has been completely destroyed." Suddenly, the aura in the alley was bone-chilling. Bamboo Sect's subordinates shuddered. They felt a little apprehensive, as if they had been targeted by some living being. They did not dare to stay any longer. They hurriedly pulled the Sky Bamboo Almighty away. A figure slowly appeared at the entrance of the dark alleyway. Suddenly, he was filled with anger. However, Su Yan could only suppress the anger in his heart. "Let's see how long you can live." Su Yan's eyes flashed with a cold light. His figure disappeared as he rushed out of Sky Bamboo City at an extremely fast speed. Dong! A muffled explosion rang out, startling the clan elder guarding the heavenly bamboo steel. One of the true immortals was shocked as he looked at Xia Kunlun. Under the Sky Bamboo Steel's illumination, his ranking had almost entered the top 10,000. Good lad. This was already very impressive. The Sky Bamboo lineage had been passed down for generations and produced many geniuses. It was already very impressive to be able to enter the top 10,000. With such potential and aptitude, he would definitely be nurtured by the family's Dali. The news spread to the outer sect elders' courtyard and caused quite a stir. The Bamboo Origin Force immediately fought for resources for Su Yan. He obtained another 2 golden cores and sent them to Xia Kunlun's secret residence. Bastard, that Xia Kunlun almost entered the top 10,000. He's only 3 ranks away from me. Fonda was furious when he heard this. The stone table in front of him exploded. He had received news that the quotas were limited this time. Only 8 of them had been given to the outer sect. Feng Rong frowned and sat cross-legged like an immortal furnace burning. The road of immortal ascension faintly appeared behind him. "Big brother, according to the information you received, 7 of the quotas have already been decided. Xia Kunlun is still fighting with me for the last one." Fonda was furious. It was difficult for him to calm down. "Why are you panicking?" Feng Rong reprimanded. "What's a little wild cultivator? He just has some potential. There's nothing to worry about. I've already prepared for this. Don't worry, before the evolution liquid is produced, I guarantee that you have hope of entering the top 8,000. At that time, if you feel that Xia Kunlun is a threat, just cripple him." Haha, I knew Big Brother would have a way. Fonda was excited. As long as he obtained the evolution liquid, his potential would rise again. Then, the 10,000 races battlefield would allow him to ascend to the immortal Tao realm. This was the symbol of a true expert. Time passed slowly. In the blink of an eye, another half a month had passed. On this day, he was awakened. He walked out the door and gazed at the immortal mountain in the distance. The immortal mountain was huge like a divine furnace. It flowed with holy light. Moreover, as it spat out, the sky was filled with moonlight and starlight. One after another, it fell into the mountain to refine the treasured liquid. This natural furnace was becoming more and more restless. It was shaking. Vast and mighty auspicious clouds transformed into auspicious beasts. They surrounded the mountain and spat out pil chi. Su Yin could faintly sense that the tide of life was flowing within the immortal mountain's furnace. It actually caused the space and time of the heavenly domain to tremble. It was as if the divine might of this universe had been awakened. This thing is too difficult to refine. Su Yin was shocked. How difficult was it to refine the life essence evolution liquid? The commotion soon dispersed. The clan was in heated discussion. Many people were envious. Even a 4th grade or 5th grade liquid would be enough for them to strengthen their life essence. Another 10 days passed. Su Yin was about to open the array disc of the first supreme medicine. In the following days, he patiently waited. The amount of energy needed to advance from the 8th heavenly layer to the 9th heavenly layer was too shocking. Su Yin suddenly used the body-nourishing technique to seize the immortal energy. However, he could feel that in order to accumulate enough materials to break through, he would need at least a few years. After all, it was different from the 8th to the 9th heaven. His strength would soar several times. Once he stepped into the 9th heaven, he would be qualified to touch the path of immortality. The immortal mountain shook more and more frequently every day. On this day, Su Yan's battle constitution was blazing. His powerful life essence was rumbling. He was envious. The life essence evolution liquid was actually reviving his battle constitution on its own. It wanted to rush in and swallow the liquid. This thing is really outrageous. Su Yan was dumbfounded. He thought that if he had the chance, he would definitely get a high-quality liquid. 3 days later, a strange medicinal fragrance spread throughout the vast territory. Success! I can smell the medicinal fragrance. My spirit is stimulated and my body functions are strengthened. This is really incredible. The clans were in an uproar. This was a big event. Some powerful disciples sighed. They only had the chance to obtain the 6th grade liquid. The 7th grade liquid was the most terrifying one. Only the bamboo sunflower was qualified to obtain it. The bamboo sunflower was the symbol of the clan's strength. It was a supreme genius who would compete for the emperor ranking in the future. The clan's disciples didn't expect to refine 2 portions. It was already quite impressive to be able to complete one. On the summit of the immortal mountain, many vague figures appeared and began to refine the liquid. Beam after beam of dazzling light of life was extracted from the immortal mountain cauldron. These were relatively low-grade liquids. About 100 of them were extracted. The immortal mountain cauldron automatically sealed itself and began the final refinement. The entire sky bamboo branch fell silent. Some experts who hadn't been out for a long time came out and shamelessly asked for the liquid for their descendants. However, the emperor path was about to open. The clan's upper echelons were still biased toward the seeds with great potential. Boom! At night, a blazing radiance soared up from the cultivation court and illuminated the dark world. Many people were shocked to see Feng to come out of seclusion and rush toward Xia Kunlun's secret palace. He stood outside the palace and shouted, "Xia Kunlun, get the hell out here. I said I would come find you. Now the time has come. The liquid belongs to me. A wild brat like you won't get it." Chapter 14:23. Who is it? He's so cruel, directly attacking in the cultivation area. Isn't it obvious? It must be Fonda. I've heard that there are only 8 portions of grade 5 evolutionary fluid. The meeting hall is currently considering whether to give it to Xia Kunlun or Fonda. Both of them are very powerful. Now that Fonda has stepped out and suppressed Xia Kunlun, I'm afraid he'll miss out on the evolutionary fluid. The whole area was in an uproar. Many disciples stood out to watch the show. Zhu Yuanli and the others rushed out from the outer elder courtyard, but they didn't stop them. Indeed, sometimes only by displaying powerful combat strength could one fight for better resources. The grade 5 evolutionary fluid was of great importance. Su Yan didn't care about it, mainly because his supreme treasure body had undergone a round of transformation. Thus, not to mention grade 5, even if Su Yan was given grade 6, the effects wouldn't be great. Su Yan was still after grade 7, or even higher, but where could he find such things? Even in the entire immortal heavenly domain, not to mention grade 9, grade 8 experts had only appeared a few times. Fonda, you're too daring. You dare to use force here. Bai Yunxi rushed over with an anxious expression. She had just received news that Fonda's ranking on the Sky Bamboo Tablet had almost reached the top 8,000. His combat strength was extremely strong now. Of course, Bai Yunxi had also improved rapidly during this period of time. After being baptized by the Treasure Land, she had changed a lot. Su Yan also walked out from the secret palace. He was surprised that Fonda dared to attack him here. However, seeing that the outer elder courtyard didn't interfere, he was relieved. Since they didn't interfere, it meant that they were allowed to fight. Bai Yunxi, Fonda saw this girl and immediately sneered, "Move aside. You're Zhu Gao Ji's woman. I don't want to destroy a flower. Bastard, what nonsense are you talking about? Bai Yunxi was so angry that her face turned ashen. Zhu Gaoge had been harassing her these days, which led to very few people in the outer sect daring to walk with her. In this vast and mysterious immortal orthodoxy, she only had one friend, Su Yin. Hee, I advise you not to interfere now. Otherwise, I'll suppress you and bring you to Big Brother Zhu Gaoji's residence. At that time, who knows what will happen? Fengde smiled evilly and said something extremely shameless, which made Bai Yunxi furious. His powerful aura leaked out. However, Su Yin directly walked forward. Looking at the furious Bai Yunxi, he chuckled and said, "Why get angry over a piece of trash? It's not even worth mentioning." "Wild brat, I dare you to say that again." Fengde's face darkened. He thought he had misheard. "Are you deaf?" Su Yin glared at Fengde, his voice cold. "Who do you think you are? How dare you behave so atrociously in front of my secret palace? This is the Sky Bamboo branch, not your Feng family. This Ya Kunlun has some backbone." Some of the spectating cultivators were surprised. They didn't expect Xia Kunlun to be so stubborn. One had to know that his brother, Feng Rong, was extraordinary and valued by the family. His treatment was not inferior to that of an inherited disciple. He even had an excellent relationship with Zhu Yanghua. "You wild brat, how dare you criticize me?" Fengde looked up to the sky and laughed angrily. "I originally only wanted to cripple you, but now that you've angered me, it wouldn't be good if I hurt your life when we fight later." Suddenly, Fengde's aura surged violently. His pores gushed out the light of order, and the void exploded. Boom! Fengde's aura skyrocketed. His body emitted a mysterious chanting sound. When the immortal Tao scripture was activated, Fengde's aura turned into an overlord, swallowing the starry sky. He was like a vague, true immortal. The aura he emitted was strong enough to break apart space and time. It was twisting. True immortal scripture of tyrannical heaven. Many of the inherited disciples were surprised. This scripture was extremely difficult to cultivate, and it consumed a lot of natural treasures. They didn't expect Feng Rong to value Fengde so much. If he didn't give Fengde resources, this true immortal scripture of tyrannical heaven couldn't be cultivated in a few months. Fengde's aura skyrocketed. His black hair fell like a waterfall. He looked down at Su Yin and shouted coldly, "True immortal scripture of tyrannical heaven specializes in restraining the physical body. Brat, isn't your physical body very strong? I want to see if you can be crippled by a single punch of mine." Boom! Fengde rushed over in an instant. He swung his fist and smashed it toward his head. Heaven Tyrant Fist. He roared and erupted with all his strength. One had to know that he had seriously injured Su Yin and gained the clan's approval of his battle prowess. This fist was extremely fierce. It had the majestic posture of swallowing rivers and mountains. The space and time collapsed with a bang. The turbulent fist wind rose up violently. This fist was simply going to smash it into pieces. "Is it very impressive?" Su Yin sneered. His figure crossed the blurry space in an instant. His aura also changed in an instant. It was as if a supreme overlord was born. His aura was exuberant beyond compare. The moment it burned, a huge furnace of life appeared on his back. The whole scene was in an uproar. Many of the inherited disciples were shocked. This aura was too exuberant. It had formed a dragon of life and moved about in the furnace. How exuberant was this aura? Many people were dumbfounded. They saw Su Yin pounce forward and raise his fist to strike the Heaven Tyrant Fist. It was as if two great stars in the universe had collided together. A deafening sound was heard. There was also blood that splattered out. It was very resplendent. Fengde, who was fierce and tyrannical, was sent flying by Su Yan's fist. His body smashed into the ground, creating a huge crack. Many people were in a daze, not knowing what to say. Was it over just like that? Fengde's expression was ugly. He couldn't take it anymore. His blood-stained hair danced wildly as he suddenly got up. However, when he looked at Su Yin, he was trembling. The person in front of him was surging with essence, energy, and spirit. The blood and chi furnace behind him was boiling with monstrous immortal matter, causing Su Yan's aura to skyrocket once again. The suffocating fluctuations surged in all directions, causing the whole place to cheer. No one expected Xia Kunlun to be so strong. He took large strides forward. Just the essence bloodstorm alone was enough to crush Fengde and make him tremble. The bamboo origin force was particularly surprised. He had sent some golden pills over these days, but he didn't expect his improvement to be so fast. Do you admit defeat? Suyin looked down at Fengde and said coldly. Wild brat, Fengde was so angry that he trembled. He waved his fist again and hit Su Yan. Ah! The next moment, he screamed. His entire arm was crushed, and he let out a scream like a pig being slaughtered. Let go, let go. Fengde was in so much pain that he almost fainted. This was because Su Yan's foot was stepping on his chest. His bones were breaking, and he spat out large mouthfuls of blood. What is Xia Kunlun? Many legacy disciples were envious. Zhu Yao had really picked up a treasure. This Xia Kunlun's combat strength was too strong. He was definitely a fierce general, fusing the formation Dao into combat. Not simple, not simple. A true immortal expert commented. His words made the bamboo origin force come to a realization. He hadn't forgotten that Su Yan was proficient in the formation Dao. He didn't expect this guy to be so versatile. His cultivation of the formation Dao had reached perfection. That's enough, Xia Kunlun. A few outer sect elders rushed over and dragged the half-dead Fengde away. Xia Kunlun, you ruined my plans. I'm not done with you. Zhu Gaoji's face was dark. He hadn't expected Xia Kunlun's combat strength to be so strong that Fengde lost miserably in a single exchange. This storm dissipated for a short while. Xia Kunlun's name also began to circulate in the sky bamboo lineage. Many elders began to pay attention to him. That night, the bamboo origin force sent over another batch of resources. He even gave him 50 kilograms of immortal path stones. The bamboo origin force even told Su Yan that he could go to the true immortal experts lecture hall to listen. This was a privilege that only outer sect experts who had made contributions could have. Su Yan's status rose with the tide. However, he grew calmer and calmer. His heart was as calm as water as he prepared for his next move. The refinement of the evolution fluid on the sacred mountain continued. Another 5 days passed. On this day, a true immortal expert arrived at Su Yan's secret residence and personally delivered the evolution fluid. He even instructed, the evolution fluid has just been concocted. It's full of medicinal power. Refine it as soon as possible. Don't bring it out of the family. Thank you, Elder. Su Yan bowed respectfully. His eyes were filled with joy. He removed the seal on the evolution fluid. This grade 5 evolution fluid somewhat exceeded Su Yan's expectations. It wasn't inferior to grade 6 evolution fluid by much. Su Yan, the evolution fluid you obtained in the past has been sealed for a long time. Some of its medicinal power has been lost. Giant Bamboo explained, if it's a grade 6 evolution fluid with full medicinal power, it'll be 30 to 40% stronger than the one you absorbed before. Su Yan was moved. It seemed that grade 6 evolution fluid couldn't be underestimated. He took a deep breath, closed the door to the secret residence, and returned to his room. Su Yan prepared to refine the evolution fluid in peace. However, his gaze soon focused on the outside world. With the strength of his primordial spirit and his grasp of the world's momentum, it was obvious that his secret residence had been sealed. Moreover, it was an extremely tyrannical protective formation. Interesting. Someone came to visit in the middle of the night and even dared to this extent. Looks like it's Zhu Gaoga. Su Yan couldn't help but laugh. He pushed the door open and walked out. His gaze scanned the surroundings. It seemed ordinary, but in fact, there were 3 auras approaching the secret residence. This wild brat actually discovered us. Fengde had already recovered from his injuries. He was the first to step out with a gloomy expression. Immediately after, a dignified old man also stepped out. He was a half-step true immortal. Xia Kunlun, hand over the thing. Zhu Gaoga walked out with his hands behind his back. He said coldly, otherwise, kill me. Su Yin replied. You're a smart man. Zhu Gaoga sneered. If you don't want to die, hand over the evolution fluid. You're Zhu Li Hui's son? Su Yan's expression was slightly cold. How dare you call the great ancestor by his name? Fengda sneered and said, You ignorant fool. Kneel down and apologize immediately. Is this some kind of secret? Zhu Gaoga's expression was cold. Zhu Li Hui is indeed my father, a true immortal of the grand principle. I'm his only son. Xia Kunlun, I can give you a choice. Follow me and everything can be discussed. However, as a price, you must hand over the evolution fluid. Aren't you afraid of the family's investigation? Su Yin was surprised. Investigation? Zhu Gaoga said disdainfully. Killing an expert who obtained the evolution fluid is a serious crime. Am I, Zhu Gaoga, a pig? How can I let a fourth person know about this? Even my father doesn't know. I see. Su Yin strode forward and said, Then you won't be able to live. Chapter 1424. Inside the protective formation, the atmosphere was stifling. Zhu Gaoga and Fengda were stunned. They thought they had misheard. What did Xia Kunlun say? What did he mean by dying? When the half-step true immortal saw Su Yin approaching, his expression changed. He clenched his fists and felt a chill all over his body. He felt a fatal threat, and his breathing became heavy. Su Bangji's old face was uncertain. He was not a powerhouse of the Sky Bamboo lineage and belonged to the Outer Sect Elder Council. His identity was unknown to the world, and that was that he was a servant of Zhu Li Hui a long time ago. Since the birth of Zhu Li Hui's only son, Su Bongjie had become Zhu Gaoga's servant. Although he was not a true immortal, he was used to seeing great storms. However, Su Yan's calmness made Su Bongjie's expression turn serious. Young master, let's leave this place first. Su Bongjie's tone was low. His entire aura suddenly erupted to the extreme. Behind him, a blurry immortal path appeared. Even his body was reviving, causing Su Bongjie to be filled with the immortal path's divine aura. Zhu Gaoga's expression was gloomy. Su Bongjie's eyes were sharp, and he was loyal to him. He could not be spouting nonsense in this situation. Could it be that Xia Kunlun had a protector? Fengda was frightened. Even a half-step true immortal could not calm down. He quickly said, Big brother, let's leave first. We'll come in after we've dealt with Xia Kunlun. Ridiculous. Zhu Gaoga's face was ashen. He said coldly, Do you think I, Zhu Gaoga, can't beat a rogue cultivator? Just wait and see. Even if Su Bongjie can't do it, there's still me. Fengda forced himself to calm down. Zhu Gaoga was not an ordinary person. As the only son of a true immortal of the great all-embracing heaven, his bloodline was superb and his foundation was exceptionally solid. He had even swallowed the evolution liquid a long time ago. He was not someone an ordinary powerhouse could compare to. Junior, I hope my feeling is wrong. Su Bongjie's divine energy surged and intertwined with the blurry immortal path's order. It could easily suppress powerful life forms. Even immortals would be suppressed. There was also a protective formation here that suppressed everything. Even if there was chaos inside, the outside world would not know that there was a treasure snatching in the night. Zhu Gaoga did not believe that a half-step true immortal could not suppress Xia Kunlun. No matter how powerful his life force was, it would still be extremely difficult for him to withstand the suppression of the immortal Tao order. Even if it wasn't complete, it still possessed battle prowess that surpassed the immortal realm. I've killed so many half-step true immortals that I don't even know how many of them I've killed. Su Yan's words were shocking, like a thunderclap that resounded throughout the world. Junior, I don't believe you're that strong. Su Bongjie had a bad feeling about this. He let out a furious roar, and his divine power surged out in an attempt to conjure a great divine ability to stop Su Yan, the figure that walked out of the secret palace and approached them step by step. His aura was completely different. Boom! A dazzling light bloomed. It was blazing and dazzling, and the grand fluctuations that flowed out seemed to have whistled over from another space-time. Su Yan's figure was somewhat indistinct, mainly because his strength was too tyrannical. His vitality was like the sea, and his chi and blood rushed into the heavens, enriching his matchless divine might. The entire secret palace world was covered by a vast aura. Su Yan was like an emperor descending from a shattered universe. Facing Su Bongjia, who was rushing to kill him, Su Yan's method was simple and direct. He raised his fist and punched forward, unstoppable. What terrifying power! Who is it? Su Bongjia's scalp went numb. This punch exuded an incomparable divine might that suppressed the entire universe. Nothing could be seen except for the fist that flowed with fluctuations that made their hearts tremble. The immortal Tao order that filled the sky directly collapsed. This was an immortal? Fonda was frightened. He trembled with fear, and his legs went soft. He fell to the ground. He felt despair. This was an immortal? He was like a true immortal, dominating space-time and unrivaled. Poof! Su Bongjia was sent flying. His chest was torn apart, and he fell to the ground. He growled in pain, and his eyes were filled with fear. This was a supreme overlord. Only a supreme overlord could destroy the order energy of a half-step true immortal at the 8th heaven. This Xia Kunlun was actually a supreme overlord. In the entire sky bamboo lineage, the number of such people could be counted with one hand. However, an outer sect disciple actually had the combat strength of a supreme overlord. Su Bongjia roared in fear. "Young master, leave quickly. Immediately inform the family. Quickly, this person is a big problem. Leave quickly." Fonda was so frightened that he turned and ran. Zhu Gaoga also found it hard to calm down and rushed towards the defensive array. "You want to leave?" Su Yan used a callous tone. He raised his foot and stepped forward, forcefully stomping on Su Bongjia's chest, causing his entire body to collapse. "Ah!" Su Bongjia screamed. Before he died, he didn't forget to interfere with Su Yan. He gathered a powerful primordial spirit energy and attacked him. Wong. Su Yan's forehead released a spiritual light. Although Su Bongjia's primordial spirit was strong, facing Su Yan's primordial spirit was like facing a powerful giant beast. He was terrified from the bottom of his heart. He didn't even understand how Su Yan managed to deceive the sky bamboo steel. Su Yan's tyrannical spiritual energy tore apart Su Bongjia's primordial spirit. This half-step true immortal was directly killed by Su Yan. "This is bad. The array has been rewritten. We can't leave." At this moment, Zhu Gaoga's expression was extremely ugly. They couldn't leave the defensive array. The operation of this array had been rewritten by Su Yan. He was now the controller of the defensive array. "Xia Kunlun, let's talk nicely." Fonda was flexible. He knelt on the ground and begged Su Yan to spare him. Su Yan raised his foot and kicked Fonda. The kick caused Fonda's body to explode and explode in the void. "How dare you kill an outer sect elder and Fonda?" This scene stunned Zhu Gaoga. He couldn't calm down and was flustered. Su Bongjia and Fonda had high positions in the clan, but they were directly killed by Su Yan. Xia Kunlun didn't even blink an eye. This was simply a killing star. Su Yan didn't say a word and punched out with extreme speed. It could crush everything. Boom! A bolt of lightning exploded in the void, shattering the universe. Su Yan's aura was domineering. His peerless fist aura was unstoppable and unstoppable. "It's not Xia Kunlun. Who is it?" Zhu Gaoga was alarmed. He had only seen this kind of unstoppable aura from Zhu Yanghua. How could a wild cultivator cultivate such a powerful aura? Who was he? Zhu Gaoga was very decisive. He shot out a series of powerful immortal rank secret treasures in order to stop Su Yan. At the same time, he frantically tried to break the array and escape. He was very clear that he couldn't defeat Su Yan. Only death awaited him if he stayed. Bang! Unfortunately, the various secret treasures he shot out couldn't withstand Su Yan's fist aura at all and were all blasted apart. Su Yan's fist surged with golden blood and overflowed in all directions. The entire space-time was trembling. This was a shocking scene. The pressure caused Zhu Gaoga's body to tremble. A supreme crisis struck. Zhu Gaoga shot out an ancient talisman. This talisman shone brightly and scattered down thousands of layers of immortal Tao laws to protect Zhu Gaoga's body. This was an immortal Tao protective talisman. It was extremely valuable. Immortal Realm experts couldn't break its defense at all. This item was extremely rare, even in the Sky Bamboo lineage's treasury. "Break for me," Suyin shouted coldly. He raised his fist and punched forward, covering Zhu Gaoga's entire body. The immortal Tao light let out a rumbling sound. The energy ripples were vast and incomparably turbulent, about to penetrate the defensive array. Suyin punched out again and again. His aura became more and more terrifying. The immortal Tao talisman trembled continuously, but it was difficult to destroy it. "It's useless, Xia Kunlun. You can't break it. This is a defensive item my father gave me." Zhu Gaoga calmed down and sneered. "I've already crushed the communication talisman. My family already knows that something happened to me. Soon, they'll be able to pinpoint my location through the talisman. Although it's a serious crime for me to steal treasures in the dark night, digging it out will definitely be a great merit. Do you really think I'll be so careless? When you guys were setting up the defensive array, I've already sealed the world around the secret palace. I've sealed off all paths of communication with the outside world. Since I've decided to take action, I won't live." Su Yan's words made Zhu Gaoga's scalp tingle. He panicked. "Stop trying to scare me. This immortal Tao talisman's defense can't be broken. Even if you kill me, with my father's strength, he'll be able to find the location of my death." "Break again," Su Yan roared. Endless divine light shone as he turned into the three pure ones. The three Su Yan erupted. His eyes were like lightning as they evolved the power of tribulation at the same time. The vast aura of disaster attacked the order of the immortal Tao. Although the immortal Tao talisman was strong enough, the power of tribulation crushed it, causing the light of the immortal Tao to dim. "Who is it?" Zhu Gaoga was shocked. The aura of tribulation was somewhat familiar, but that wasn't important. He knew the three pure ones very well. This was the three pure ones in one pure ones, the most powerful divine ability in history. A rogue cultivator had mastered the most powerful divine ability in history? Who would believe it if word got out? Zhu Gaoga took out another immortal Tao talisman from his space-time treasure. No matter what, he had to survive first. However, before he could activate the talisman, a powerful soul energy invaded his sea of consciousness, suppressing the power of his primordial spirit. In a short period of time, Zhu Gaoga lost control of his body. His hands were paralyzed, and the immortal Tao talisman fell to the ground. This was the benefit of having a powerful primordial spirit. If Su Yan hadn't used his primordial spirit to intimidate Zhu Gaoga, Su Yan would have been worried about an accident if the delay was too long. When Zhu Gaoga regained control of his body, he shuddered as he found that his space-time treasure had been taken away. Zhu Gaoga's face was filled with fear. "Let's talk. I'll give you a lot of benefits. Don't kill me." This person was hiding his identity. There was a huge problem in itself. Now that Zhu Gaoga had seen his true face, could he really survive? In short, Zhu Gaoga was terrified. He was the son of a Daluo, true immortal. He had a bright future ahead of him. How could he be willing to die like this? When Zhu Gaoga's eyes saw the three Xia Kunlun, his mind trembled. It was as if thunder had exploded in his sea of consciousness. He pointed at Su Yan and said in a trembling voice, "It's the young demon king." Su Yan was surprised. He didn't expect him to see through it. "The young demon king, it really is." As if struck by lightning, Zhu Gaoga fell to the ground, paralyzed. His mind collapsed, and his consciousness was a little blurry. Then he coughed up blood. He was so angry that he went crazy. "Where is the face of the heavenly bamboo bloodline?" Zhu Gaoga roared. His face was twisted. As the son of a Daluo true immortal, he had seen many big scenes. However, he had never seen such a ruthless person. Chapter 1425. The young Devil King was the most wanted criminal in Sky Bamboo, with a bounty of 10,000 kilograms of immortal path stones. But half a year had passed, and the young Devil King had disappeared. Their Sky Bamboo had sealed more than a dozen continents, forbidding the use of any teleportation formation. Even Zhu Lihui's ancestors were searching for the young Devil King all over the world. This ruthless person, who had been missing for a long time, was now in the sky bamboo as Xia Kunlun. He was recognized by the elders, entered the dragon transformation pool, and even obtained a grade 5 life essence evolution fluid. What was even more ridiculous was that he was under Zhu Yao. After all, the source of this storm was Zhu Yao. Finally, Zhu Gaoga couldn't take it anymore. He let out a hysterical roar, his eyes bloodshot. This was a great humiliation. Once this news spread, the sky bamboo would become a laughingstock. What terrified Zhu Gaoga the most was, what was the young Devil King doing here? What was his purpose? What was he planning? Boom! Zhu Gaoga flew out, unleashing his strongest combat power to tear the seal. He had to spread the news, or the consequences would be unimaginable. Su Yan's expression was cold. He lifted his foot and stepped on Zhu Gaoga. He said coldly, "Son of a Daoyuo, true immortal, how can you be so weak? You're now a prisoner. But don't worry, I won't kill you now. Once I do, Zhu Lihui will notice, and my next plan won't go smoothly." "What are you trying to do?" Zhu Gaoga roared, completely out of control. Su Yan didn't want to waste time with him. He used his means to seal Zhu Gaoga. Just in case, he used the power of the mystical gate to add hundreds of layers of seals. After doing all this, Su Yan cleaned up the battlefield, cleaned up the other 2 corpses, and wiped away the smell of blood and traces of battle in the secret palace. Su Yan waved his sleeve. He opened the protective formation and calmly returned to the secret palace. Zhu Gaoga's space-time treasure didn't disappoint Su Yan. There were more than 1,800 kilograms of immortal path stones inside. He was richer than Zhu Yao and had many rare cultivation resources. Of course, what Su Yan really cared about was the immortal path talisman. This thing has amazing defensive power. I didn't expect Zhu Gaoga to have 2 of them. Su Yan was surprised. Fortunately, he didn't have any offensive-type talismans. Otherwise, he would most likely have caused some disturbance. These 2 protective talismans were constructed from the Order of the Immortal Dao and could block a single attack from an Immortal Dao tier elite. But at this time, the giant bamboo emitted an ancient spiritual will. It vaguely captured a unique aura blooming in Zhu Gaoga's sea of consciousness. Within the layers of seals, Zhu Gaoga was still struggling violently. Su Yan's eyes widened. He looked through Zhu Gaoga's sea of consciousness. He saw the ancient aura. It looked calm at first, but soon a terrifying aura flowed. Su Yan was shocked. What is this? This caused Su Yan to sense a threat. Of course, it was also obvious that Zhu Gaoga couldn't control the treasure in his sea of consciousness. Now that he was threatened, the treasure began to awaken. Boom! Suddenly, his sea of consciousness burned. The ancient aura became more and more intense. The whole sea of consciousness turned purple. It was like a condensed purple sea of stars. Vaguely, 2 huge eyes opened in the middle. Su Yan was shocked. The aura was very ancient. It seemed to have existed for billions of years. As it flowed, a terrifying wave spread. The eyes that looked down on all life in the universe opened. They were high up, as if they were patrolling the sky. Could this be? Giant Bamboo was shocked. He saw the scene in Zhu Gaoga's sea of consciousness. Soon, Su Yan's heavenly eye glowed. He tried to see through the layers of purple light. Finally, he saw the scene inside. It was a purple stone. It was very small, about the size of a human eyeball. The purple stone, I was surrounded by the aura of creation. The aura flowing was quite terrifying. The radiance it spilled seemed to be able to pierce through the river of time. It was the stone that was glowing. It reflected the outline of the 2 huge pupils. It was as if the eyes of heaven were rotating. "Treasure, help me escape," Zhu Gaoga roared. He wanted to control the treasure. This was the treasure his father found for him. It had been sealed in his sea of consciousness all this time. Now that it had awakened, it wanted to fuse with him to escape the crisis. But with Zhu Gaoga's strength, it was difficult to control it. At the moment of fusion, his sea of consciousness showed signs of exploding. This made Zhu Gaoga feel great pain. His whole head was cracking and shooting out purple clouds. What kind of treasure is this? Su Yan's eyes widened. Zhu Lihue really values his son. This treasure is very scary, but it's very difficult for him to control. It almost shattered his head. It's hard to find. Zhu was shocked. This is the Khanate Stone Eye. This stone Eye nurtures the natural order of the immortal Tao. Once he enters the immortal Tao realm and fuses with it, his combat power will skyrocket. He will become a powerful cultivator on the immortal island. Khanate Stone Eye. Su Yan did not know what it was, but it was definitely powerful. Although Zhu Lihue dotes on his only son, but Zhu was silent for a while. He shook his head and said, Zhu Lihue will not give this to his son. I think when he got this treasure, his cultivation was already at the Daoyuo, true immortal realm. What do you mean? Su Yan asked. The path of the Daoyuo, true immortal realm is very special. It requires the fusion of certain materials. Zhu said, this Khanate Stone Eye is hard to find. It's very helpful to the Daoyuo, true immortal realm. To put it bluntly, with this item, Zhu Lihue will be like a tiger with wings. He can't refine it? Su Yan was surprised. He can refine it, but it will waste the magical effects of the Khanate Stone Eye. It must be because of this special reason that Zhu Lihue gave up on it. Giant Bamboo said, this item will fetch a sky-high price in an auction, even among the immortal sections. Even in the immortal sects, very few clans have this item, not to mention giving it to Zhu Gaoga, who relied on immortal medicine to mature his body. Su Yan's heart skipped a beat. This was an unexpected gain, even shocking. Do you know how long it takes for the Khanate Stone Eye to be nurtured? Zhu kept Su Yan in suspense, which meant that this item was too precious. He said something that made Su Yan's jaw drop. It takes 1,000,000 years to form and contains endless essence of heaven and earth. It's a huge treasure. Once it's excavated and fused with a person's essence spirit, it will be very terrifying. It will give the person unparalleled combat power. Zhu said in a deep voice, this Khanate Stone Eye has been nurtured for at least millions of years. It's a natural treasure that can't be bought. Zhu Lihue must have dug it out from a treasure ground. Su Yan's heart skipped a beat. This item was too outrageous. In short, Zhu Lihue would go crazy if he knew about this. This old thing was still near Qingshan continent, searching for his tracks. But his son had been captured alive by Su Yan, and even the Khanate Stone Eye had been obtained by Su Yan. Su Yan, we have a hurry to ensure that nothing goes wrong. Zhu said, neither you nor I can take out the Khanate Stone Eye, but if this goes on for a long time, it will definitely rebel. If we can't seal it, it will be very troublesome. Senior, what do you mean? Su Yan said in a low voice, you want me to go through the first forbidden area as soon as possible, take the secret medicine, strengthen my essence spirit, and subdue the Khanate Stone Eye? That's right, Zhu said with a smile. With the strength of your essence spirit, it won't be difficult for you to enter the immortal Tao realm in advance with the help of the first supreme medicine. Only when your essence spirit reaches the immortal Tao realm will you be qualified to refine the Khanate Stone Eye. Su Yan, the breakthrough of your essence spirit will surprise you. Zhu's meaningful words made Su Yan's face full of anticipation. Even though Su Yan was currently an immortal realm overlord sovereign with overwhelming combat strength, he would not be able to defeat even the weakest half-step true immortal realm expert if he were to face a true immortal realm expert. Then, the transformation of his essence spirit might give him a big change. In the following days, Su Yan was very careful. 3 to 5 days later, he gradually calmed down. Zhu Gaoga's disappearance didn't cause a stir. A successor disciple disappearing for a year or so wouldn't attract the attention of people with ulterior motives. Most importantly, Zhu Lihue wasn't in the tribe. Time passed slowly. Almost 2 months had passed. On this day, Su Yan looked at the pill furnace on the sacred mountain. The furnace had been given life and was breathing. Its life aura was becoming more and more terrifying. The air was filled with fragrance, sprinkling on the mountains and rivers. The sacred mountain let out a series of cries. True dragons, immortal phoenixes, white tigers, black tortoises, and other auspicious beasts appeared, guarding the sacred mountain as it rose. The tribe was in an uproar. Countless people were in heated discussions. The final refinement was about to begin. This time, they were going to refine Grade 6 and Grade 7 evolution liquid. On this day, Su Yin saw a group of terrifying leaders entrenched near the sacred mountain. They were faintly discernible in the chaos. Their aura slightly permeated the air, intimidating all living beings in the universe. Su Yin sucked in a breath of cold air. They really took this seriously. At least a dozen unfathomable experts had come to guard the sacred mountain to prevent any accidents from happening at the final juncture. On the second day, more and more experts gathered at the sacred mountain. Su Yin noticed that the sacred mountain was shaking and spewing out billions of auspicious clouds. The atmosphere was too sacred. This meant that the final refinement was about to begin. Night approached. The sky bamboo lineage was brightly lit. Su Yin transformed into Zhu Gaoga and went to the outer sect elder's courtyard. He was unimpeded in the elder's courtyard and arrived at the teleportation formation. With Zhu Gaoga's status, no outer sect elder would dare to stop him wherever he wanted to go. Of course, just in case, Su Yin left his incarnation in Sky Bamboo City. Even if he failed, Su Yin would be able to escape unscathed. It's about to begin. I'm really looking forward to it. Su Yin successfully sneaked into the forbidden area. He lay dormant on the spot and waited for him to figure out the surroundings before making his move. He keenly noticed that a large number of guards were missing from the forbidden area. With the high-quality evolution liquid being refined, many guards of the forbidden area had left to guard the sacred mountain. The forbidden area was heavily sealed. However, to Su Yin, it was like a dragon returning to the sea. He spent half a day and finally found the strongest forbidden area. 1 minute on the stage, 10 years of hard work off the stage. Although it's not 10 years, there won't be any mistakes after many deductions. He was overwhelmed with emotions. He was also very confident. He was a Grade 8 Grandmaster and had obtained the inheritance of the founder of the Formation Masters. He believed that he could open the force field formation. Then let's begin. Su Yin opened the formation plate and threw it onto the force field formation. Chapter 1426. The domain of the number 1 treasure was vast and ancient. It had existed for an unfathomable amount of time. This place had always been peaceful since ancient times. The number 1 treasure had always taken root here and thrived. It had also blossomed and bore fruit many times, bringing the strongest resources to the sky bamboo lineage. Now, a formation disc was projected onto the domain seal. This scene caused the giant bamboo to tense up. It was really worried that something would happen. However, Su Yan's attainments in the occult arts had reached perfection. The formation disc entered the domain seal, and a ripple appeared. Soon, the formation platform disappeared. Visible to the naked eye, the dense and profound formation runes affected the entire domain. It was as if they had merged into one. Perfect fusion. I've successfully taken a big step forward. Su Yan was not too surprised. He had deduced many times to ensure that nothing would go wrong. This was a flawless method to break the formation. The profound formation runes and the domain had merged into one. Su Yan could also control the entire domain. There was a world-shaking energy in the protective domain pattern. Compared to the majestic power, the domain seal expanded in a short period of time. At this time, the dense and profound formation runes covering the domain flashed with a luster. It was faintly awakening. Was it trying to find out why the domain had changed? But shortly after, the force field seal suddenly suppressed the order veins that covered the entire seal. The two of them were in a stalemate. It's broken. The giant bamboo was shocked. The number 1 treasure's protective formation was so easily broken by Su Yin. It was quite shocked. The giant bamboo had to admit that the status of a master of the occult arts was too honorable. It was no wonder that the immortal orthodoxies treated them as guests of honor. Their mastery of the world's layout was unparalleled. It's broken, but time is limited. The formation disk I refined can at most last for the time it takes to brew a cup of tea. If it fails, I must retreat immediately. Suyin took in a deep breath. His body moved and flew towards the seal. The moment he rushed in, Suyan's heart surged. The immortal matter inside was so dense that it could not be dissolved. It had even turned into a liquid. Suyan's appearance was solemn and dignified. His pores turned into breathing doors. Rolling undying matter was guided over and passed through his body. It allowed his slow cultivation level to rise at a terrifying speed. What a terrifying Tao field. Suyin took a few deep breaths. If he were to meditate here, he would be able to rush in the 9th layer in a few months. The world's environment here was absolutely top-notch. Everything was to ensure that the number 1 treasure had enough nutrients to grow. Suyin ran rampant along the way, not daring to delay. Obviously, it was not a good thing for the environment to be too strong. Once those with weak cultivations got close, they would be crushed by the energy. Is this the number 1 treasure medicine? Suyin clenched his fists. He saw an ancient 7-colored pool at the center, releasing 7-colored immortal splendor. Inside the pool, clouds were rising and rosy. A divine aura pervaded the air. There was some 7-colored liquid in the pool, filled with terrifying soul energy. It was like the origin soul energy of the universe's heavenly domain. It was extremely dense. There was also a 7-colored ancient tree rooted in the ancient 7-colored pool. This ancient tree had been growing for an extremely long time. It was suffused with the aura of opening the sky. The 7-colored ancient tree was not big, only the size of an adult's arm. However, its aura was too ancient. It's still here, the giant bamboo said with a smile. Suyin, do you know what this is? It's the legendary 7-colored Yuan immortal tree. 7-colored Yuan immortal tree? Suyin was at a loss. He did not know what the 7-colored Yuan immortal tree was, but he could tell that every drop of the 7-colored liquid that flowed from the 7-colored Yuan immortal tree was a miraculous medicine that could strengthen one's primordial spirit. Suyan's Yuan shone brightly. He wanted to absorb the 7-colored Yuan immortal liquid to strengthen his soul. Legend has it that when the immortal heavenly domain was created, there were 10 treasure trees. Giant Bamboo said, every kind of treasure tree is a rare immortal treasure tree with different abilities. Some can nurture immortal treasures, some can cultivate immortal weapons, and some can produce great divine powers. I've lived for so long, even as a disciple of the progenitor, but this is the only one I've seen, and it's the 7-colored Yuan immortal tree of my race. The giant bamboo exclaimed. The universe was vast, the heavenly domain was magnificent, and the world was vast. What was Suyin? What was the heavenly bamboo? What was the Overlord Supreme? Only supreme existences like the primogenitor possessed great divine abilities and were invincible existences with great majesty. The progenitor had only gotten his hands on one of the 10 strongest treasure trees. To put it bluntly, even some of the strongest immortal orthodoxies didn't have such a treasure tree. The 7-colored Yuan immortal tree is one of them. You've seen its effects. It can produce 7-colored Yuan immortal liquid. The giant bamboo said, in the vast immortal heavenly domain, there are very few Yuan shun herbs that can compare to it. Although the 7-colored Yuan immortal tree isn't considered an ultimate treasure tree, its value isn't any less than an ultimate treasure tree. Every year, the 7-colored Yuan immortal tree will produce a drop of 7-colored Yuan immortal liquid. The giant bamboo said, every 3,000 years, it will produce a 7-colored Yuan immortal fruit. Only 1 drop per year? Suyin was dumbfounded. However, he said regretfully, it's a pity that there isn't a 7-colored Yuan immortal fruit. You don't know. You can't see the 7-colored Yuan immortal fruit at all. It's a special camouflage set up by the progenitor himself. Only a few people know how to use it, and I happen to be one of them. Actually, the 7-colored Yuan immortal liquid is already precious and terrifying enough. It can't be measured by its value. The giant bamboo urged, "Let's hurry over. We don't have much time." Su Yin rushed over, his heart filled with excitement. However, just as he was about to reach the ancient pond, his face sank. He saw a figure suddenly appear and walk out of the space, accompanied by the pressure of the immortal Tao. It was a tall man with a pitch-black body. He was cold and emotionless. His body was steaming with dazzling chaotic light. This was no ordinary chaotic light. It carried the pressure of the immortal Tao and filled the entire place. Su Yin felt suffocated. Of course, he was even more shocked. The entirely pitch-black male was forged from precious immortal Tao chaos stone, almost indestructible, difficult to destroy. This was a puppet, but it was also a protector. "We're in big trouble." Su Yan's expression darkened. This was a guardian puppet that guarded the seven-colored Yuan immortal tree. However, this was an immortal Tao realm puppet. How could Su Yan fight it? Although he could control the dark matter and keep the puppet in check, the consequences would be dire if the devil mist appeared here. "Don't panic," the giant bamboo said. "This is a puppet that guards the seven-colored Yuan immortal tree. It's also here for the purpose of testing you." Testing? Su Yin was stunned. "If you're harvesting the seven-colored Yuan immortal liquid, it won't stop you. However, it bears a Yuan immortal fruit. If you want it, you'll have to pass the test. This is our clan's #1 precious medicine. It's priceless. It won't give you the precious fruit for other reasons. If you want it, you'll have to have sufficient combat strength. But to fight an immortal Tao puppet, you won't be able to win." The giant bamboo sighed. It was here for the origin immortal liquid. Harvesting the Yuan immortal fruit was too difficult. In a sense, the Yuan immortal fruit could only be consumed by those in the immortal Tao realm. Even if Su Yin was in the immortal realm, he would still have to gain the puppet's approval if he wanted to obtain the Yuan immortal fruit. "I want to try. The Yuan immortal fruit is right in front of me. I can't give it up so easily." Su Yan's battle aura spread. The giant bamboo did not interfere. It knew that the difficulty was too great. Su Yin was an immortal and had yet to reach the peak realm. Even a powerful half-step true immortal would have a slim chance of success. "Do your best. If you can't, don't fight it. It'll take your life," said the giant bamboo. This was a rule set by the progenitor. No one could change it. Of course, it was not to defeat the puppet. Only by gaining its approval could one harvest the Yuan immortal fruit. In an instant, Su Yin exploded. This place was isolated by the force field formation. No matter how big of a commotion he caused, the experts outside would not know. His chi and blood surged, and his vitality erupted. Immortal matter was extremely dense as he charged toward the black puppet like lightning. Boom! The black puppet came to life instantly. It was terrifying beyond compare. The immortal Tao realm puppet was filled with the power to dominate the world. Its entire body surged with chaotic light as it smashed its fist towards Su Yin. In an instant, the sky shook and the sea of stars trembled. The entire ancient starry sky was about to explode. The chaos puppet's battle strength was extremely domineering. It had the power of an immortal Tao realm, and its fist was like a chaotic star as it bombarded Su Yin. "Come!" Su Yin roared. His long black hair danced wildly as his battle strength surged into the heavens. He also erupted with his strongest strength. Boom! The fist's force exploded the entire void. The light shattered the clouds and tore the sky apart. Su Yin screamed in pain. His body trembled, and blood spurted out of his pores. His entire fist was badly mangled. Large amounts of blood spilled out, and it was almost rotten. Su Yin suffered a great loss, but he knew very well that this was a suppression of power. How could the immortal Tao realm be made of paper? Even if Su Yan's magic power was monstrous and he was an Overlord Supreme. But challenging the immortal Tao realm was too difficult. It was almost impossible. Puffed. Su Yin was sent flying by the fist. He endured the pain, and his eyes were cold. He immediately stabilized his body and stood between heaven and earth. His chi and blood surged. "If you can't do it, then give up." Giant Bamboo sighed. Su Yin was only an 8th stage immortal. How could he match an immortal Tao realm puppet? Moreover, this was a puppet refined from immortal Tao chaos stones. Its flesh shell was indestructible. Su Yan's domineering strength only caused the puppet's fist to tremble slightly, but didn't injure it at all. I can do it. Su Yan's eyes widened. His long black hair scattered down. The aura surging from his body was changing. This was the essence of life changing. It surged with the supreme pressure of immortality and indestructibility. Boom! Su Yan's body was golden. It was as resplendent as the sun in the sky. He had entered the indestructible golden body state. Su Yan's indestructible body had almost been tempered to small success by Su Yan. Once he entered this domain, his battle strength would explode. His body was almost indestructible. I don't believe I can't beat an immortal Tao puppet. Su Yan's aura was powerful beyond compare. His flesh shell was golden. Holy light erupted, crushing every inch of space and time, turning it into a dark zone. At the same time, this was a rare opportunity for Su Yan. He had to grasp it. Again, Su Yan rushed up and attacked the chaos puppet. Chapter 14:27. The essence immortal fruit was of great importance. Whether it was for Su Yan, Bamboo Moon, or even the giant bamboo, it was of great significance. He had to get his hands on it. The creation was right in front of him. This was a great opportunity that everyone dreamed of. How could Su Yan give it up? He had to defeat the chaos puppet, even if he had to give it his all. Seeing Su Yan pouncing over, the chaos puppet erupted again. Its body was terrifying and full of chaotic, immortal energy. It did the same thing as last time, punching Su Yan with its fist. It was simple and direct. The battle was on its shell. Su Yan roared angrily. The golden fist mark shone brightly, as if it was a burning golden sun that pierced through the immortal path. It emitted endless divine light and was filled with supreme strength. Boom! The golden fist and the black fist collided again. The impact was huge and deafening. It even gave rise to a terrifying energy storm that collapsed the space-time, followed by a huge explosion. In the destroyed space-time, Su Yan's fist bled again, but it did not break. This meant that he had endured and resisted the chaos puppet's abnormal strength. However, that was all. The chaos puppet's fist also sent Su Yan flying. The indestructible golden body flickered and showed signs of disintegration. Kill! Su Yan's eyes were wide open. He stabilized his body and charged at the chaos puppet again. The two powerhouses fought. Divine power collided like a boiling ocean. It was very difficult for an immortal to challenge an immortal. After several collisions, Su Yan's golden body was constantly rumbling and emitting the sound of iron striking. It showed signs of disintegration at any time. However, Su Yan became more and more courageous as he fought. He was bathed in blood and went crazy. He endured the pain on his body and released the primordial power of all things. The sky was filled with the chanting of sutras. It was grand and abnormal. The surging primordial power swept up and suppressed the chaos immortal path's power. He punched the chaos puppet. It was a pure contest of physical strength. Loud noises echoed in the sky. The battle had reached its climax. This scripture is really domineering. Not only is it a peerless scripture, it also contains the most powerful divine ability in history. It imperceptibly weakens the battle prowess of the immortal Tao realm, allowing Su Yan to just barely be able to fight against the immortal Tao realm puppet. The giant bamboo was filled with anticipation. Who knew? They might be able to win this battle. Even for Su Yan, it was extremely difficult. He kept colliding with the chaos puppets, and his golden body was showing signs of cracking. He could barely maintain his current state. I don't believe that I can't beat you. Su Yan roared angrily. His pupils even widened. The large golden hand shone, bloody light surging like a sea. The aura of calamity was vast and mighty. Su Yan unleashed the power of the Tao of calamity. It was as if he was constructing a vast universe of calamity. The crimson hand was like the hand of the heavens. It was filled with the supreme power of calamity and blocked the fist of the chaos puppet. Boom! The light of calamity that filled the sky struck the chaos puppet, causing it to tremble. Its mighty body seemed to be unable to withstand the crushing force of the calamity. It's effective. Suyin was pleasantly surprised. He continued to unleash the power of the Tao of calamity, changing heaven and earth. It was as if he had replaced the great Tao of heaven and earth, turning himself into the ruler of the Tao of calamity. Bloody light sprinkled down like a waterfall. Suyin had unleashed the power of the Tao of calamity to the limit. It was as if a vast, bloody universe was rotating. There were bloody stars, bloody moons, and a sea of stars in the universe. This divine ability was fully unleashed. It was terrifying beyond compare. The strongest attack of the current stage of the Tao of calamity could shock heaven and earth. It even had the ambition to swallow the sea of stars in the universe. It surged into the heavens. In the field, bloody light covered the sky. The chaos puppet seemed to have intelligence. It roared. Its black figure was especially terrifying. Its flesh shell churned with waves of chaos. It was as if billions of layers were rumbling. Not good. Suyan's expression changed greatly. The power of initiation had lost its effect. The suppressed chaos immortal Tao was released. It shook open the prison and collided with the universe of calamity, causing the bloody universe to explode. Bastard! Suyin coughed up blood. His entire indestructible body was stained with blood. The powerful chaos immortal Tao broke through the Tao of calamity and hit Suyan's flesh shell. He coughed up blood, and his vitality weakened a lot. Although the power of initiation was extraordinary, it was too difficult to suppress the immortal Tao. Dong! In the field, the chaos puppet rushed towards Suyin and hammered his chest with its fist. This punch was also extremely domineering. The supreme immortal might suppressed Suyan's indestructible body. The peerless fist aura smashed onto Suyan's body. In an instant, a heart-wrenching pain attacked Suyan's soul. His eyes turned black, and he was about to faint. Suyin let out a ferocious roar. He endured the danger of his body being destroyed and reached out his hand with lightning speed. A wisp of terrifying aura spread out, which made the universe tremble. Suyan's golden hand turned into a heavenly sword and slashed down, tearing a corner of the universe. What kind of secret technique is this? The giant bamboo was terrified. He felt an extremely terrifying power that seemed to want to sever the Tao of immortality, sever all living beings in the world, and even the sky itself. One sword to cut immortal Tao. Suyin roared and used his most powerful secret technique. The giant hand was about to be destroyed in the process of light. This secret technique was too domineering. However, even when Suyan's body was operating, it still threatened Suyan's life. When the sword was released, even Suyan's entire body was burning, spewing out a supreme sword aura. Although Suyin hadn't completely cultivated it, he could barely use it. Just as the stunning and peerless sword was about to strike the primal chaos puppet, the puppet suddenly became blurry, after which it was guided by a kind of majestic strength and disappeared in front of Suyin. The puppet disappeared, but Suyan's sword had cracked space and time, leaving terrifying sword marks. It affected the space and time and couldn't disperse for a long time. Puffed. Suyan's body trembled. He knelt on one knee on the ground, bleeding from his mouth and nose. He couldn't take it anymore. His body and mind were about to break. The sky-destroying sword was extremely domineering. Suyan's body as a sword was extremely difficult to bear. This was a heart-wrenching pain that kept attacking Suyin. He couldn't move in a short period of time. His entire body was still trembling. Even his indestructible body had many sword marks. Suyin roared happily. His golden body was soaked in blood. He wanted to get up, but it was very difficult. He almost fell to the ground when he stood up. Suyan's eyes were filled with anger. He roared, "I can't take this pain. How can I talk about the immortal Tao? How can I talk about revenge? I crawled out of hell. I will be invincible in the future." His confidence was peerless. His blood-stained hair danced in the air. He was a demon god that crawled out of hell. He didn't care about life and death. Su Yin stabilized his body. His blood-stained body burned brightly. He was really like a demon god standing in hell. He was extremely powerful. I have to leave immediately. Su Yin strode forward. He wanted to collect the saponified substance in the seven-colored ancient pool. The giant bamboo stopped Su Yin and said, "You don't have to do anything. If you do, you will alarm the seven-colored immortal tree." "Senior, can I take the seven-colored immortal tree away?" Su Yin was curious. "Impossible," the giant bamboo said. "There is a seal placed by the progenitor. The consequences of forcefully taking it away are too severe." The giant bamboo's soul turned into a branch. Green light shot out in all directions and directly pierced into the seven-colored ancient pool. One could see the precious liquid inside disappearing layer by layer. About 10,000 drops were lost. Only one drop will be produced every year. This was a rare liquid that could only be collected after 10,000 years. Of course, this was secondary. Next, the branch glowed and flowed with mysterious ripples. Runes of order sprinkled down and projected onto the seven-colored immortal tree. 2. Su Yin was pleasantly surprised. There were 2 seven-colored fruits on the seven-colored immortal tree. These fruits were also very special. Although they were only the size of a fist, they seemed to be made of some kind of divine metal. Su Yin was quite surprised. The branch glowed and knocked down the 2 fruit trees. Next, the branch wrapped around the 2 trees and sealed them. This thing can only be collected with a secret art of my race. Otherwise, it will alarm the seven-colored immortal tree. With the treasure in hand, Su Yin relaxed. He had finally completed a big mission. "I have to leave quickly. There's not much time left." Su Yin quickly rushed out. Following the path he had explored previously, he quickly left the forbidden area. He turned into Zhu Gaoga and returned to the outer sect Senate through the Great Array. There were few people in the Senate. Su Yin walked out calmly and saw the changes on the sacred mountain. He was extremely shocked. The extraction had already begun. Streaks of evolutionary liquid were produced one after another. It was extremely terrifying. It was as if true dragons were being extracted and sealed in an artifact. This was a Tier 6 evolutionary liquid. How could one not be shocked? A group of legacy disciples had gathered near the sacred mountain. Their auras were extremely powerful. There were even a few whose auras were much more ferocious than Zhu Yao's. They should be the overlords of their race, waiting here quietly. It's finally been extracted. Zhu Yao's eyes were red. Once he successfully obtained the Tier 6 evolutionary liquid, his battle prowess would skyrocket. At that time, he would be able to refine the sky bamboo aspect seed with the golden essence pill. At the thought of this, Zhu Yao couldn't help but feel excited. At that time, I'll also be qualified to obtain the fortune of the seven-colored immortal tree. Anyone would have the opportunity to obtain the number 1 treasure medicine of their race. However, the prerequisite was that they had to pass the trial of the chaos puppet. If she, Zhu Yao, challenged the puppet with her half-step immortal cultivation, she might be able to obtain a virtual immortal fruit. This was a supreme opportunity. Some of the powerful young experts of their race also wanted it. However, the competition was too cruel. The quota was also limited. After all, there were only 2 virtual immortal fruits on the seven-colored immortal tree. At this time, the sacred mountain began to extract the Tier 7 liquid. Auspicious signs descended from the heavens. Vitality flowed like the vast universe. It was unimaginable. Su Yin was speechless. A Tier 7 and a Tier 6 were really incomparable. What kind of supreme secret medicine was this? No wonder their race valued it so highly and sent so many experts to occupy the vicinity of the sacred mountain. Then, how strong would the legendary Tier 8 and Tier 9 be? It's a success. Haha, a Tier 7 evolutionary liquid. In the history of our race, there are only a limited number of Tier 7 evolutionary liquids. The important figures occupying the vicinity of the sacred mountain were overjoyed. The 10,000 tribe battlefield of Emperor Road was about to open. They believed that with the Tier 7 evolutionary liquid, Zhu Yanhua would definitely shine in the 10,000 try battlefield. Boom! All of a sudden, there was a loud explosion. Far away in the forbidden area, the half-asleep guardians were emitting heaven-shaking anger. It was accompanied by shrill cries that reverberated among the races. More than a dozen terrorist leaders were revived. Their eyes were wide open in anger. They were about to go crazy. The fruits of the seven-colored immortal tree and the virtual immortal liquid were gone. Without a doubt, the time was up. Su Yan's formation disk had lost its effect, causing the Guardian formation to operate on its own. It caused a great disturbance and woke the Guardians up. Chapter 1428. Su Yan was calm and composed as he quickly returned. After entering Sky Bamboo City, all traces of him completely disappeared. His second incarnation returned to the ancestral land of the Sky Bamboo lineage, which was about to descend into chaos. Su Yan had already rented a secret cultivation chamber in Sky Bamboo City. His injuries were too serious, even though he was in the state of Qi 3 Pure Ones. Although he was in the form of Qi condensation, it had also injured Su Yan's vitality. As soon as he stepped into the secret cultivation chamber, Su Yan's aura became weaker and weaker, and he sat on the ground powerlessly. How did you get so severely injured? Where did you go? Bamboo Moon had been living in the cultivation chamber. She saw Su Yan coughing up blood, and even his indestructible body began to degenerate. When the Supreme Treasure Body state disappeared, Su Yan's aura was greatly damaged, and his injuries were even more severe. There were even sword wounds on his body that went deep into his organs. His entire body emitted an aura that felt like it was about to be destroyed. The giant bamboo was greatly shaken. What level did Su Yan possess exactly? Not only was his offensive power unparalleled, but he had also injured him. I'm fine. Su Yan shook his head violently to keep himself awake. His battle with the Chaos Puppet was too tragic. He had almost lost his life. Fortunately, he had the immortal slaying sword, which threatened the Chaos Puppet at the crucial moment. That was why Su Yan did not fall into danger. A large number of immortal Dao stones were taken out. He had to heal his injuries as soon as possible. With the help of the immortal Dao stones and the heaven patching art to repair his damaged body, he believed that he could stand at his peak for a short time. There's no threat to your life. There won't be any accidents. The giant bamboo's remnant soul floated out and looked at Su Yan, who had entered a state of recovery. It whispered, something big is going to happen in the Sky Bamboo continent. In less than half an hour, Sky Bamboo City had indeed welcomed a huge change. The supreme flames of anger that rose from the ancestral land wanted to burn the 9 heavens and shatter the entire outer realm. Sky Bamboo City was trembling. Then, as the killing intent was released, it surged out and swept across the entire Sky Bamboo continent. Everyone in the universe was terrified. Who had angered the Sky Bamboo lineage? The 7-colored elemental immortal tree in the clan's forbidden area had lost its fruits, and even the 7-colored elemental immortal liquid had evaporated into thin air. The Sky Bamboo branch was enraged, and the entire ancestral land was thrown into chaos. The news exploded like thunder in the upper echelons, causing an even more turbulent storm. All the experts who received the news felt that it was inconceivable. Who exactly did it? In the forbidden area of their ancestral land, he had stolen the fruit of the number 1 supreme medicine. Preposterous. No matter who it is, they will be sentenced to death. Several great figures from the clans roared loudly. Their hearts were dripping with blood. This was a great humiliation. Who would have thought that the number 1 supreme medicine would almost be lost in this heavily guarded forbidden zone? If it weren't for the power of the primogeniture, the 7-colored immortal tree might have been taken away. These were the 10 most powerful treasure trees that have been born since the creation of the world. They were of great significance to their race. The 7-colored Yuan immortal tree was their clan's proudest treasure. However, the most ridiculous thing was that the 7-colored Yuan immortal liquid was gone. Boom! The ancestral court let out a rumbling sound. Billions of strands of ancient blood rushed out, tearing apart the entire firmament. Giant pupils opened in the primal chaos one after another, probing the place where the number one supreme medicine grew. They captured sword scars and traces of battle. This also made the terrifying head of Ancestral Court, who had great achievements and natural luck, completely furious. Just who was it that did this? This was too deranged. At first, they suspected that it was someone from the inside. After all, there were very few people who knew how to pick the seven-colored yuan immortal fruit. Could it be that someone had betrayed the clan? Who had stolen the seven-colored yuan immortal fruit? In fact, the seven-colored yuan immortal liquid wasn't too important. The precious seven-colored yuan immortal fruit was an immortal treasure that could strengthen the primordial spirit of an immortal Dao realm expert. These two fruits would also be bestowed to the most outstanding experts before the opening of the 10,000 race battlefield. However, they had now been lost. Not even a strand of hair was left. Although the seven-colored yuan immortal tree was still there, the opening of the 10,000 race battlefield was very close. There was no time to wait for the next round to ripen. Investigate, investigate. You must find out who it is. The clan was in chaos. The elders of the upper echelon were furious. This matter caused their hearts to tremble. It was 1,000 times more serious than what the young Devil King had done. The supreme existences of the Ancestral Court were furious. They turned the mysterious heavenly stage to find out who did it. However, the person who did it was shrouded in a layer of shadow. This meant that this person had a supreme treasure protecting him. They couldn't find out who it was. What the hell is going on? Why did the Sky Bamboo branch go into a rage? I heard that it was about the young Devil King a few days ago. Did they find out who he is? Who knows? I think something big happened to their clan. Don't you think it's strange? It's been a day, but there's no news at all. This means that the Sky Bamboo branch has sealed the news. The more it is like this, the more serious it is. How could the Sky Bamboo branch leak any information about such a humiliation? The seven-colored yuan immortal tree was of great importance. Once this matter spread, the Sky Bamboo branch would become famous. Far away in the Qingshan continent, Zhu Lihui was in a very bad mood. So much time had passed, and the young Devil King seemed to have evaporated. Because of this, the Sky Bamboo branch had offended some forces. However, in order to dig out the young Devil King and find out why he was related to the Ultimate Land, they had to offend some people. However, they were angry because they didn't get anything. Why do I feel uneasy? Zhu Lihui felt something, and his expression became uncertain. At his level of cultivation, his sixth sense was extremely shocking. He could even foresee the future. The clan is refining the life essence evolution fluid. Did something happen? Zhu Lihui felt uneasy. He decided to return to the clan. The young Devil King had already disappeared, and there was no point in continuing the search. However, Zhu Lihui didn't know that when the clan investigated the thief, they found that Zhu Gaoge was a major suspect. Zhu Gaoge, you have a guts? Zhu Yao's expression changed when he heard the clan's conclusion. No matter how bold Zhu Gaoge was, he wouldn't dare to steal the clan's supreme treasure. Moreover, after a series of strict investigations, they found that Zhu Gaoge was the only disciple who entered the forbidden area. Could it really be Zhu Gaoge? If it was an outsider, even if he had the ability to collect the seven-colored elemental immortal fruit, would he let go of the seven-colored elemental immortal tree? That was impossible. When news of this spread, the clan came to the conclusion that it was definitely done by an insider who had a secret technique to collect the fruit. Zhu Gaoge definitely didn't know how to do it, but his father did. The clan's experts felt that this conclusion was a little ridiculous. However, no matter how they investigated, it was still Zhu Gaoge. More importantly, Zhu Gaoge had disappeared. Bastard, who did it? Zhu Yao's expression was sinister. From a young Devil King to the seven-colored elemental immortal fruit, Zhu Yao was furious. She felt that the heavens were against her, and every matter affected her interests. There were only 2 seven-colored elemental immortal fruits, and now they were gone. Zhu Yao was so angry that she wanted to vomit blood. Fortunately, She was only missing the last ingredient for the Golden de Yuen pill. Otherwise, she would have lost all hope and no future. For this ambitious woman, her current status was far from enough to satisfy her. To her, if she didn't become the clan's leading expert, she was no different from trash. The entire Sky Bamboo faction was in an uproar. Xia Kunlun also joined in the fun and asked around. However, this matter was too tightly sealed. He didn't even know how far it had progressed. In Sky Bamboo City, Su Yin was recuperating in the cultivation room. In a day, he had absorbed more than 100 kilograms of immortal Dao stones. His injuries were getting better, and the sword wounds on his body were also gradually disappearing. 100 kilograms of immortal Dao stones are gone. Su Yan's heart ached. He was in urgent need of immortal Dao stones. After all, when he stepped into the immortal Dao realm in the future, he would need a huge amount of immortal Dao stones. Generally speaking, ordinary cultivators would need about 250 kilograms of immortal Dao stones. For a young overlord, he would need more than 500 kilograms, or even more. And Su Yan's life essence was so terrifying. The amount he would need would be an extremely shocking number. Giant Bamboo had seen it before. A heaven-defying genius would need more than 10,000 kilograms of immortal Dao stones to break through. Apart from the legacy disciples of immortal sects, no one else could afford this. Su Yan opened his eyes. His face was still a little pale, but he had passed the critical period. At this moment, his consciousness sank into the bamboo leaf. Su Yan, I'll be in a state of hibernation. I've absorbed some 7-colored immortal essence liquid to recover a portion of my soul energy. Giant Bamboo's aged voice rang out. Remember not to consume the 7-colored immortal fruit. Only when you've formed your immortal Dao, primordial spirit, are you qualified to refine it. Also, you must completely stabilize your immortal Dao, primordial spirit's cultivation realm. Otherwise, you won't be able to control the medicinal power of the 7-colored immortal fruit. This 7-colored immortal essence liquid can help you break through to the immortal Dao realm. You must be careful during this period. Giant Bamboo had absorbed more than 1,000 drops of 7-colored immortal essence liquid. There was still plenty left. Immortal Dao, primordial spirit. I'm looking forward to it. Su Yan thought to himself. This precious liquid was enough for him to complete the transformation of his primordial spirit. Once he had an immortal Dao primordial spirit, there might be some special changes. Giant Bamboo had mentioned to him many times that the immortal Dao primordial spirit was not simple. Su Yan, how are you now? Bamboo Moon was dignified and elegant. Her silky black hair fell to her waist, and her figure was graceful. Her starry eyes were like pools of autumn water, filled with heartache. I'm fine. Su Yan stood up. Looking at the increasingly beautiful Bamboo Moon, he grinned. It's just a small injury. It's nothing. This is a small injury? Bamboo Moon was indignant. Her red lips were bright, and her countenance was beautiful. She grumbled, Don't try if you're not confident. You're already in great danger in the Sky Bamboo lineage. If you're discovered, it'll be too big of a deal. Senior Giant Bamboo is really too much. If you're discovered, don't worry, Bamboo Moon. Su Yan snickered. I've gained a lot from this battle. Although it's risky, it's all worth it. You rascal. Bamboo Moon pouted coquettishly. You won't listen even if I tell you. I think we should withdraw from the Sky Bamboo lineage for now and observe the situation. Su Yan shook his head slightly. Not yet. We need to borrow the Sky Bamboo lineage's strength to find the place where the Sky Bamboo progenitor died. Only when we reach our destination can this mission be considered complete. Bamboo Moon sighed faintly and said softly, Thank you, Su Yan. You're saying thank you to me again? Su Yan frowned. Looking at the charming Bamboo Moon, his heart palpitated. She was like a bright divine moon, beautiful and indescribable. Bamboo Moon smiled elegantly. Her bright eyes sparkled as she looked at Su Yan. When their gazes met, Su Yan's eyes suddenly became heated. His slightly invasive gaze caused Zhu Yu's expression to become somewhat bashful. However, it also made her even more beautiful. She was so beautiful that even the moon and flowers would be put to shame. She was so beautiful that she could captivate the hearts of people. Suyin looked at the shy bamboo moon. His breathing quickened. Suddenly, he reached out and pulled Bamboo Moon into his arms. "What are you doing?" The charming Bamboo Moon had snow-white and delicate cheeks. Her lips were bright red, and her teeth were sparkling. Her breath smelled like orchids. Bamboo Moon's figure was slender and extremely soft. Her snow-white skin was filled with a fragrance. Su Yan's throat moved slightly. Smelling the unique fragrance of her body, his hand landed on her tiny waist. Bamboo Moon was extremely shy. Her face was nestled in Su Yan's arms. Hugging her soft body, Su Yan could not stand it anymore. His hand reached in her dress. Su Yan, her breathing quickened. She was bright and dignified. Her entire body was weak and powerless. In the end, Bamboo Moon looked at him lovingly. The scene in the secret cultivation room suddenly changed. Clothes fluttered in the air. Their bodies intertwined. Come and see. It's the bridal chamber. Chapter 1429. I'll omit 10,000 words at once. Brothers, I'll write a detailed article on the public account one day. The atmosphere in the heavenly bamboo continent was stifling. 3 days had passed, and the heavenly bamboo continent was still in a state of complete lockdown. Even an ant couldn't fly out now. The world didn't know what had happened to the heavenly bamboo lineage, but things were getting worse and worse. Where did Zhu Gaoga go? The clan was in chaos, and they couldn't find Zhu Gaoga. He was getting more and more suspicious. How dare you? Are you all brainless? Saying that my son stole the 7-colored element immortal fruit? If he's that capable, I'll smoke from my ancestors' graves. Zhu Lihui returned to the clan and received the news. He was so furious that his body was trembling. He didn't dare to believe the clan's conclusion. However, Zhu Gaoga had gone missing. Even with his bloodline power, he couldn't find any trace of Zhu Gaoga. Zhu Gaoga was his only son. He knew Zhu Gaoga well. He wouldn't have the guts to do such a thing. Most importantly, he didn't have the ability to do so. Zhu Lihui, Zhu Gaoga, is the biggest suspect in this matter. If you can bring him here and let me check his primordial spirit memories, Zhu Gaoga will be free. Otherwise, he's still the biggest suspect. An old ancestor of the clan shouted coldly. The 7-colored element, immortal fruit, was too important. They had even lost a large amount of 7-colored element, immortal liquid. The loss was too great. They couldn't stop chasing after Zhu Gaoga just because of Zhu Lihui. Zhu Lihui's face was pale. He wanted to know where Zhu Gaoga was and where to find him. That's right, Zhu Lihui. Everyone knows that you love your son the most. I heard that you even gave the Khanate stone to Zhu Gaoga. The clan leader of the heavenly bamboo lineage said fiercely, "This treasure is hard to find. Back then, you tried to get the 7-colored element immortal liquid for Zhu Gaoga, but I didn't agree to it. Although you're the clan's old ancestor, there are some rules you can't break." "What are you trying to say?" Zhu Lihui's face was gloomy. The Tianzhu clan lord had asked him many times for the Khanate stone eye, wanting him to give it to Zhu Yanghua. But this treasure was something he had risked his life to dig out, and its value was difficult to measure. How could he bear to give this supreme treasure to Zhu Yanghua? Although his son was somewhat useless, once he stepped into the immortal Tao realm and fused with the pre-celestial stone eye, it was not impossible for him to become a leading expert of the sky bamboo lineage. What did the Tianzhu clan master mean by this? Could it be that he suspected that he was also involved? Before the matter is investigated clearly, the family will not stop the arrest of Zhu Gaoga. The Sky Bamboo clan master said coldly. If the truth really comes to light, then no matter who is implicated, they won't be able to escape death. Bastard! Zhu Lihui was truly on the verge of going berserk. His aura was extremely terrifying. However, in the strongest council hall, there were no weaklings. The weakest cultivators were peak true immortals. They were all experts who wielded great authority in their respective races. Although they also felt that the possibility of Zhu Lihui and Zhu Gaoga being involved was very low, Zhu Gaoga was currently the most suspicious. For a moment, Many experts who were close to Zhu Lihui did not dare to speak up for him. After all, the opening of the 10,000 races battlefield would produce terrifying experts. Everyone hoped that their children would be able to make a name for themselves and rule over the immortal sections. It was possible that Zhu Lihui was really taking the risk. He was even willing to give up the pre-celestial stone eye, so the 7-colored elemental immortal fruit wouldn't be a problem, right? What's going on? Zhu Gaoga is wanted? The entire race was in a heated discussion. There were very few experts who knew the inside story. Su Yin roughly guessed that Zhu Gaoga was the scapegoat and was being suspected. As long as Zhu Gaoga was not found, he would not pay too much attention to other experts. Zhu Lihui probably would not have thought that it was Tian Zhu, the hand of the bamboo progenitor who sat on giant bamboo. Back then, Zhu Lihui killed giant bamboo in order to eliminate the root of the problem. However, giant bamboo had a trick up his sleeve and survived by luck. In fact, Su Yin did not expect Zhu Gaoga to be the scapegoat. Coincidentally, the special method of picking the fruit confirmed this matter and made them believe that it was done by one of their own. Even the experts of the ancestral court felt that the hands of experts from the outside world could not reach here, let alone the method of picking the fruit. Boom! Suddenly, a huge explosion resounded, and a dense expanse of spatial rifts appeared, and they stretched very far into the distance. The golden immortal cave opened. This supreme world was located at the peak of the 9 heavens. It was like the supreme palace of the heavenly bamboo lineage. Several experts with terrifying auras came down the mountain. The 7-colored origin immortal fruit was stolen. A figure stood at the entrance of the golden deity cave. He was like a golden sun that would never be extinguished. His body glowed, and it was terrifying beyond compare. Moreover, a sky bamboo brand that connected the heavens and the earth appeared behind him. It was as if it could pierce through the heavens. Zhu's sunflower. The experts were excited when they saw Zhu's sunflower also come down the mountain. He was a legendary existence of the heavenly bamboo lineage and a supreme overlord of the undying heavenly domain. Zhu's sunflower. Zhu Yao looked over and saw Zhu's sunflower. She was deep in thought. The heavenly bamboo Dharma idol is indeed powerful. Su Yin looked at Zhu's sunflower solemnly. The Dharma idol heavenly bamboo behind him seemed to be real. It had an extremely majestic prehistoric aura that suppressed and intimidated all living beings in the universe. Moreover, the Dharma idol heavenly bamboo glowed on its own and flowed with heart-trembling waves. It was extremely ancient and mysterious, as if it existed in another time and space. When it glowed, it was like an invincible giant flying towards this world. It was powerful and shocking. Su Yin felt even more pressure. He was shocked and even thought that Zhu's sunflower was a true immortal expert. Zhu's sunflower naturally did not pay attention to the small fries like Xia Kunlun. He walked out of the golden immortal cave in blue robes and came to this area. He looked at Zhu Yao. "Greetings, young master." Zhu Yao bowed respectfully without the slightest disrespect. However, when Zhu's sunflower arrived in front of Zhu Yao, his brows furrowed slightly. The heavenly bamboo Dharma idol appeared on its own. The moment the supreme imprint shone, Zhu's sunflower's entire body was revived. In that instant, the scene was terrifying. It was as if an invincible being had descended into the lower realm. All sides were in fear. Many people trembled and fell weakly to the ground, their expressions terrified. Even someone as powerful as Su Yin was breathing heavily. His body was in stinging pain, as if it was about to collapse. He was shocked. Zhu's sunflower was too powerful, as if he was a true immortal. His essence, energy, and spirit merged together like an immortal furnace. Terrifying energy flowed out, seemingly exceeding the undying realm. Good. A well-deserved void immortal. There were several elders nearby who were shocked. From Zhu's sunflower's body, they could sense the unmatched strength of an immortal Tao realm expert. He was worthy of being the number one of the heavenly bamboo lineage's younger generation. What is the meaning of this, young master? Zhu Yao's expression became ugly. I still haven't produced a true immortal primordial spirit, so I naturally cannot endure young master's aura. It has something to do with the primordial spirit. Su Yin was moved. An immortal Tao primordial spirit had such a benefit? Possessing the strength to attack an immortal Tao realm expert? In the undying heavenly domain, only true immortals could dominate a region. However, if an immortal Tao realm expert possessed the strength to attack a true immortal Tao realm expert, that would be incredible. Such people could be counted on one's fingers in the immortal sections. Of course, with Zhu Sunflower's current state, he could at most deal with immortal Tao realm experts. Zhu Yao, please don't be offended. Zhu Sunflower waved his hand and retracted his aura. Why do I sense the aura of the primogenitor's bloodline on you? Zhu Yao's expression changed slightly. She did not expect Zhu Sunflower's spiritual senses to be so sharp. His senses were so sharp. She quickly calmed down. A few years ago, when Xianwang opened, I was ordered to bring the primogenitor's item to Xianwang. So it's because of that. Zhu Sunflower nodded. He had also heard about it, but had returned empty-handed. What a pity. Zhu Sunflower sighed. The Xianwang universe used to be so prosperous. There were so many sky prides, and the Emperor Road was their world. Now that it has fallen, it's just a small universe. I heard that Xian Hongda was going to die on the battle stage. I even met him once. Zhu Sunflower was curious about Su Yan. To be able to rise from a small universe and kill Xian Hongda, he was quite a character. Even a person's emperor ranking could exist for a few years. Although the emperor ranking was everywhere now, and there were countless titles, how many people still talked about Su Yan? Su Yan's death was also a fact. This person had only appeared briefly and disappeared without a trace. Although his name was still on the emperor ranking, who would care about it? Or rather, when this name was used again in the 10,000 tribe battlefield, when only 10,000 experts were left on the emperor ranking, then it would shine brightly. Xian Hongda. Suddenly, Zhu Yao's heart tightened. She had an illusion. Could the young devil king who attacked her in Qingshan City be Su Yin who killed Xian Hongda? She was uneasy. Could it be possible? She remembered Su Yan's aura. It seemed to be similar to the young devil king. However, Su Yan had already died. Even if he was still alive, it was impossible for him to have such terrifying combat strength. He's already dead. Why would I think of him? Zhu Yao's expression returned to normal. The matter of the Xianwang universe was over. Su Yan couldn't be alive, and neither could Bamboo Moon. However, Su Yan was nearby, watching everything calmly. Su Yan was thinking, was the primordial spirit really that important? Immortal Tao Realm. Step onto the immortal Tao's road of immortality. Refining Qi into spirit, refining spirit into void, refining void into Tao. The primordial spirit of the great Tao gives birth to immortal matter, which is equivalent to a new life. Will there be other changes when the primordial spirit ascends to immortality? Su Yan's avatar hurried back. When he saw Zhu Yanghua, he deeply recognized his own shortcomings. His potential was extraordinary, but the undying celestial domain's orthodoxies had superb evolution elixirs. What's wrong? In the secret cultivation room, Bamboo Moon looked at the suddenly busy Su Yan. Madam, I have some important matters to attend to. Su Yan let out a strange cry, causing Zhu Yu's face to turn red. Her snow-white body was nestled in the blanket as she covered her mouth and laughed. Su Yan sat cross-legged in the cultivation room. He took out a large amount of 7-colored yuan immortal elixir and prepared to break through to the immortal Tao primordial spirit realm. Boom! Bathed in the elixir, Su Yan's primordial spirit burned fiercely. His already vigorous soul force surged, emitting brilliant soul light. Under the nourishment of the 7-colored yuan immortal elixir, the greatest treasure stored in Su Yan's soul body, the white mist, bloomed again. However, it was different this time. The white mist turned into a gas, like a primordial gas that had been dormant for billions of years, and fused with Su Yan's primordial spirit. Su Yan's essence, qi, and spirit seemed to have increased by billions of times. He explored the universe, as if he had seen the entire, undying, celestial domain. Suddenly, Su Yan saw a black mist. It was far away, but he still saw it. Su Yan's mind trembled. His chi had arrived at a special place, breaking through the borderless land and descending upon the Xian people. Chapter 1430. Su Yan's heart trembled. In the vast and mysterious immortal celestial domain, he saw a ball of black mist rising out. This ball of mist was very similar to the white mist. They were like two primordial gases. Although the colors were different, their auras were ancient and mysterious. The two great currents, although separated by a long time, met on this day. It was bizarre, special, and unbelievable. Su Yan's essence, energy, and spirit crossed the endless territories and descended upon the Xian people. His speed left even perfected immortals in the dust. Or it could be said that these two substances belong to the same level. Because of this special encounter, Su Yan was also affected. He saw an image, but he was silent. A terrifying cave abode, like a dream. The energy within was pure. Layers of immortal essence were like the greatest source of energy in the world. They replenished one's vitality, improved one's aptitude, and strengthened one's blood. The cave abode seemed to be nurturing the strongest life. Above the cave abode, near the universe, there was an ancient sea of stars revolving, a galaxy descending, and a universe of stars manifesting. It was like the convergence of heaven and earth, forming the strongest land of creation. The unparalleled golden immortal cave was even stronger and more majestic than the sky bamboo lineage. It was like a land of creation nurtured by heaven and earth. The cave abode sees the creation of heaven and earth. After a long time, it gradually formed a golden core in the cave abode. It absorbed the essence of the five elements, the creation of the Huitian region, and after a long period of refinement in the golden immortal cave, it gradually formed a supreme golden core. Although it had not been born, anyone could feel that this golden core sees the creation of heaven and earth. It was too rare. Golden immortal cave, nurturing the golden core. In the golden immortal cave, there was a figure. He was like a supreme being that ruled the 9 heavens and 10 earths. He was in the center, sitting on the stone platform of the heavenly Tao, undergoing the baptism of creation materials. This person was a little blurry. Su Yan exclaimed, "In the sky bamboo lineage's golden immortal cave, Zhu Yanghua was only qualified to undergo the baptism of creation materials in the periphery. But he was different. He occupied the entire golden immortal cave and enjoyed the baptism of creation. Although it was a waste, what kind of power was the Xian people? They had dominated for billions of years, had an ancient inheritance, and were strong since ancient times. They had the ability and qualifications to give the strongest seeds to the tribes, and the most terrifying cultivation. Suddenly, his flesh revived. It was extremely terrifying, as if an ancient creature was awakening from its slumber. His chi and blood were terrifying to the extreme. His domain was vast and boundless, but also like a bottomless abyss, blazing brilliantly into the heavens. Su Yan's essence, energy, and spirit were all blurry and on the verge of collapse. However, his essence, energy, and spirit were ice cold. As he stared at this seemingly supreme figure, he saw a black mist appear within his flesh shell. At this moment, the figure trembled, somewhat unable to suppress the potential of the black mist. It was as if he had swallowed a primordial dragon, but it was very difficult for him to completely refine the black mist. Pooh! He was coughing up blood, but his face was as calm as water, without any emotional fluctuations. This person was too calm. He forcefully suppressed the black fog and forcefully suppressed it into his flesh shell. Very strong, much more terrifying than the bamboo sunflower. Su Yan's essence, energy, and spirit were not calm. He truly felt that he was weak, and that there was a huge gap between him and the strongest talent nurtured by the immortal orthodoxy. It was also at this moment that two terrifying existences rushed in from outside the golden immortal cave. Their auras were too terrifying, and they illuminated the entire golden immortal cave, causing rumbling sounds. "Who's there?" An extremely familiar old man appeared in Su Yan's eyes, making him furious. Xian Tairan was an expert that he could not be more familiar with. He was also the patriarch of the Xian people, a true immortal of the grand firmament. Many years ago, he had suffered heavy injuries in the Xianhuang universe, and his mission had failed. The people he had brought with him had also suffered heavy losses. However, Xian Tairan was still a patriarch. Other experts, on account of his son's death in battle, had been taken care of by their families, allowing him to recover much of his vitality in a few short years. Xian Tairan's primordial spirit light was terrifying beyond compare. It could easily evaporate oceans and crush powerful life forms. What was an immortal in his eyes? Su Yan's essence, energy, and spirit directly exploded. Too reckless. Xian Chang's expression suddenly darkened, and his heart was in a mess. Where's this place? This was the supreme golden immortal cave. They all longed to absorb nutrients from it, but what was outrageous was that an essence, energy, and spirit from the outside world had barged in. Xian Tairan's expression was ugly. I didn't expect this essence, energy, and spirit to be so weak that it directly shattered. I've already informed the family to investigate this matter. There's no need to investigate. Suddenly, the man sitting cross-legged on the platform opened his eyes. There was a blurry river of the immortal path flowing in his eyes. His eyes seemed to condense the road of immortal ascension, and they were filled with astonishing immortal might. He was not in the immortal path realm yet, but his deterrence was already terrifying enough. His eyes turned golden, and when they opened, the golden immortal cave would flicker. "Your immortal eyes are getting stronger." Xian Changha was pleasantly surprised, but then he said solemnly, "What happened just now? Did someone attack you and injure you?" Hearing this, the man sitting cross-legged on the platform said coldly, "It's just a weak essence, energy, and spirit. The reason it barged in is because..." He frowned slightly. The black mist trembled as if it had encountered its own kind, and even showed signs of flying away. He told Xian Tairan what had happened, and his expression changed drastically. He said in a low voice, "Could it be that someone else has control of this supreme creation substance?" Xian Chang's expression was uncertain. They had once suspected that Su Yin had control of it as well. However, Su Yin had already fallen, and the Xianhuang universe had been reduced to a wasteland, devoured by the devil mist. I refused to investigate. The youngsters who targeted my family a few years ago were indeed from the Xianhuang universe, Xian Chang'e said in a low voice. Xian Chang'e said in a deep voice, "But there's definitely no Su Yin. So, who is it that controls the other saponified substances? If it's Su Yin, then it'll be easy." Xian Tairan shook his head and said coldly, "After all, he's just a bug. It'll be difficult for him to move an inch in the undying celestial domain. However, if the inheritors of other immortal orthodoxies have control of it, it won't be a good thing. How's the extraction of the rank 8 evolutionary fluid coming along?" At this moment, the man on the platform spoke. He was a young supremacy of the Xian people and held a high position among the clans. He could speak with the patriarch as an equal. "Soon. It won't take more than a month," Xian Chang'e replied. "The black mist potential is superb. If we obtain the rank 8 evolutionary fluid and excavate the body's treasures, we'll definitely be able to completely refine the black mist and undergo another transformation of the body." The Xian people paid attention to the emergence of the black mist. They had paid a great price to refine the rank 8 evolutionary fluid. The Xian people had paid a great price in the process, using many precious treasures and even cooperating with other immortal orthodoxies. The Xian people had promised to give the orthodoxies some rank 6 evolutionary fluid in exchange for the materials as soon as possible. These orthodoxies were naturally happy to oblige. In fact, the young Xian people had a rank 8 evolutionary fluid, but the Xian people had prepared it for him to use when he reached the true immortal realm. Refining the rank. 8 evolutionary fluid in the immortal realm? What a waste. After all, they weren't qualified to absorb all the nutrients in the rank 8 evolutionary fluid. However, the Xian people were willing to pay any price in order to fuse with the black mist as soon as possible and increase the potential of the Xian people's young supremacy. In the faraway sky bamboo city, Su Yan's expression was cold. If his guess was right, the person he saw just now should be a powerhouse of the Xian people, or rather, the person Xian Tairan called the future supremacy of the emperor ranking. A young powerhouse. He was very powerful. Su Yan had no doubt about that. However, the stronger he was, the greater the motivation for Su Yan. The immortal heavenly domain was a big stage where powerhouses emerged in large numbers and geniuses rose. Su Yan's path of immortality had yet to reach its peak. Seeing the young supremacy of the Xian people gave Su Yan a strong motivation. The white mist controls the primordial spirit, while the black mist targets the body. 2 great mists, one black and one white. Seize the fortune. Sooner or later, I, Su Yan, will stand out and take back what belongs to me. Su Yan's soul was burning brightly. Under the nourishment of the 7-colored elemental immortal liquid, his natal soul was growing stronger. The process was very fast. Su Yan's state of mind calmed down, and he calmed down a breakthrough. No wonder it's called the elemental immortal liquid. This item can strengthen the essence of one's primordial spirit and strengthen the natal soul. Su Yan was shocked. He had already absorbed over 1,000 drops of the 7-colored elemental immortal liquid, and his soul had grown much stronger. This item was undoubtedly a supreme immortal liquid. If the liquid flowing from the 7-colored elemental immortal tree was already so powerful, how powerful would the 7-colored elemental immortal fruit be? It's about time. My soul has grown to its peak. Su Yan's primordial spirit sat cross-legged between heaven and earth, looking solemn and dignified. As he breathed, Buddhist chants rumbled. It was as if he had turned into an angry Vajra of the Buddhist sections. Sutra of the Future. Bamboo Moon smiled. Her face glowed, exuding a breathtaking beauty. Her eyes were like limpid autumn water as she looked at Su Yan, daydreaming. The opening chapter of the Sutra of the Future was taught to Su Yan by Bamboo Moon. Now, Su Yan had cultivated the Sutra of the Future to the acme of perfection. The space-time where his primordial spirit sat was like a sacred Buddhist realm, emitting endless Buddhist light. The 7-colored elemental immortal liquid in the sky continued to nourish Su Yan's primordial spirit. The kingdom he established became more and more sacred and dignified. From this moment on, Su Yan's primordial spirit burned brightly, emitting terrifying light. His essence, qi, and spirit pierced through the universe of the Qian domain, attaining the true immortal realm. Break! Su Yan's primordial spirit roared, releasing his aura. A road of immortal ascension appeared behind him. The moment he opened the road of immortal ascension, it was as if he had merged with the space-time of the Qian domain. At this moment, Su Yan's state of mind was magnified, infinitely terrifying, and his aura surged. In the process, the rolling 7-colored elemental immortal liquid was madly refined, strengthening Su Yan's primordial spirit. Suddenly, Bamboo Moon seemed to see a weak creature penetrating the immortal path and becoming a top expert in the world. He was looking down on the universe, overlooking the past, present, and future, even accompanied by an extremely terrifying aura of time, as if the light of time could cut through the universe, penetrated Su Yan's primordial spirit, causing his primordial spirit to shine brightly, and the world he created became countless times more majestic. From this moment on, the world dimmed, bowing under Su Yan's feet. His primordial spirit had attained the true immortal realm, full of soul qi, standing in the space-time, invulnerable to all spells. The moment his primordial spirit returned and flew into Su Yan's sea of consciousness, he had changed, completely different. It was as if he had turned into a war immortal, his aura shaking heaven and earth, and his body was filled with terrifying soul light. This was also a special kind of secret force. From this moment on, Su Yan felt that his primordial spirit had disappeared, and it had merged with Su Yan's body, refining qi into spirit, refining spirit into void, refining void into the Tao, and humanity as one. It was like some kind of unity. Su Yan's primordial spirit and body merged, causing Su Yan's combat strength to be extraordinary. He could erupt with supreme combat strength at every turn, as if he was a true immortal realm expert. So that's how it is, Su Yan exclaimed. No wonder Zhu Yanghua's combat strength was so tyrannical. It turned out that the primordial spirit of the true immortal realm was to merge everything and return to the body. Chapter 1431. Su Yan's aura had changed. It was completely different from before. It was as if he had obtained a new life and become one with the human Tao. Su Yan's physical body developed a mysterious power of the soul. His flesh and blood were immortal, and he was secretly stealing supreme combat strength. He was moved and tried to push his combat strength to adapt to his current state. In the process, his combat strength went berserk. Every move he made was about to produce the power of the immortal Tao. However, Su Yan discovered that his primordial spirit was a little unstable. After all, he had just broken through, and it was difficult for him to adapt to his current state. In fact, this state was already considered good. Some people's bodies could not bear their current state because their primordial spirit had broken through to the immortal Tao realm. They would need a long time to adapt. I've used up close to 5,000 drops of the 7-colored essence immortal liquid. Su Yan was shocked. He did not expect to absorb so much energy. The giant bamboo had absorbed over 1,000 drops, and the remaining was very limited. Su Yan sealed this item and waited for the bamboo moon to recover in the future. This 7-colored essence immortal liquid could strengthen the essence of the bamboo moon's primordial spirit. If my physical body is strong enough and my primordial spirit realm is stable, I can absorb the essence immortal fruit. The stronger my primordial spirit, the stronger my physical body's combat strength will be. Su Yan was pleasantly surprised. This realm was really special. His primordial spirit could turn into a stream of light and merge with his physical body, allowing Su Yan's combat strength to surge. He could also gather his primordial spirit and sit cross-legged in his sea of consciousness. Qi! Qi! Suddenly, Su Yan's primordial spirit blazed and turned into a golden stream of light. Su Yan's primordial spirit was revived and activated the Sutra of Future. His primordial spirit expanded and became boundless. This was the supreme profundity of a world in a grain of sand. Su Yan's primordial spirit was extremely majestic. It turned into a vast expanse of golden light that covered Su Yan's physical body, as if forming a special battle intent. In the blink of an eye, Su Yan's aura changed. It was astonishing and inconceivable. His flesh shell emitted the glow of ancient Buddhism, as if he was the reincarnation of a supreme being of Buddhism. His flesh underwent a great change, and in just a blink of an eye, he had transformed into a peerless golden body. This! Bamboo Moon's eyes widened as she stared at Su Yan. How is this possible? Su Yan's physique was changing. Originally, he was an indestructible body. But at this moment, how did it become a Zhang 6 golden body? This was a little too outrageous. The Zhang 6 golden body and the imperishable body were both supreme treasure bodies. They were indestructible and had unparalleled offensive power. However, she had never heard of a person possessing 2 supreme treasure bodies. Su Yan was also shocked. What was going on? Then he withdrew from the Zhang 6 golden body state and transformed into the dazzling golden indestructible body, like an indestructible god. Without a doubt, Su Yan's indestructible body had become much stronger after his primordial spirit entered the immortal Tao realm. Su Yan was silent. What was going on? Was this related to his physique? This made Su Yan a little confused. Or rather, he could still evolve other supreme treasure bodies. However, this was not important. In this world, there were many supreme treasure bodies. If one specialized in any one of them and stepped into the peak, it was enough to become the strongest combat body. The supreme treasure body could also be said to be a kind of treasured body, remarkable ability. It originated from a person's innate remarkable ability that was excavated from the essence of life. From there, one could obtain extraordinary combat power. Of course, this could not be said. Su Yan's physique was the indestructible treasured body. What is the reason? Is it because of the change in my primordial spirit? Su Yan had a headache, but this was not a bad thing. His eyes bloomed with extraordinary splendor. Then, the radiance that covered his entire body dissipated. The light of his primordial spirit sat cross-legged in his sea of consciousness again. Buzz! However, his primordial spirit recovered once again. Together with the white primordial chi that blended with his soul body, it began to revive at the same time. In an instant, the cultivation secret room was filled with blazing soul light that filled the space between heaven and earth. Then, the surging energy wreaked havoc, crushing the space and distorting it. It was even collapsing. The resplendent light of his primordial spirit burned. Su Yan also seemed to have become another person. He alone caused the great protective formation of the cultivation secret room to become slightly unstable. The freakish power of his primordial spirit wanted to penetrate the defense of the killing formation. Su Yan's primordial spirit was ancient and majestic. It was as if it had been silent for millions of years. In the process of continuous recovery, it seemed to be flowing out along the ancient river of time. It was about to crush the ancient river of time. Su Yan, Bamboo Moon, was nervous. She noticed that Su Yan had changed. His primordial spirit was supreme. It was cold and dignified as it looked down on the entire space and time. I'm fine. Su Yan's cold primordial spirit changed. It regained its original appearance. He smiled gently at Bamboo Moon. This is a hidden treasure in my primordial spirit. I can't fully grasp it yet. Bamboo Moon was astonished. She could see that Su Yan's soul body had become several times stronger. What level of treasure was this? It was only now that Su Yan had grasped it. Now, the white mist could no longer affect Su Yan. It could merge with Su Yan's primordial spirit at any time. At this time, he activated a vast amount of soul power to cover Su Yan's body. But soon his body trembled and was about to be squeezed out of shape. Su Yan was shocked. It was difficult for him to become one with the human Tao. My body is not strong enough, Su Yan thought. Although he had stepped into the immortal Tao realm, the effect of the white primitive chi was too freakish. However, he was not in a hurry. Sooner or later, he would be able to merge. When that day came, Su Yan's primordial spirit would be unparalleled. Su Yan brought Zhu Gaoga out. He was very clear-headed now. He had been in despair all day. When he saw Su Yan, he let out a ferocious roar. My father is a zenith heaven true immortal. Sooner or later, he will dig you out. Wait for your death. Su Yan's forehead shone with soul light. He released the immortal Tao's secret power. Waves of sealing energy poured down and strengthened the seal on Zhu Gaoga's sea of consciousness. The Sutra of the Future understood the changes of time and space. In this battle, the seal was extremely freakish. As the number of seals increased, the aura of the Khanate Stone, I was also completely sealed. I'll wait for my primordial spirit to stabilize a little before seizing and refining it. Su Yan was full of anticipation. He did not know how strong the Khanate Stone I was. Your primordial spirit, Zhu Gaoga was extremely shocked. He said subconsciously, your primordial spirit has stepped into the immortal Tao realm. You have completed the human Tao realm and cultivated to become a void immortal. How did you do it? How can this be? Only a few days have passed. How can you reach the void immortal realm? Zhu Gaoga was in disbelief. Among the void immortals of the sky bamboo lineage, Zhu Sunhua had reached the void immortal realm. There might be others, but there would not be more than 2 or 3. Void immortal realm? Su Yan was surprised. He did not understand this realm. He did not expect that there was a special realm in his state that was not widely known. However, Suyin guessed that the Void Immortal Realm and Daluo Golden Immortal Realm were both special realms. It was very difficult for one's primordial spirit to step into the Immortal Dao realm. Those who defied the natural order were called Void Immortals. Void Immortals were also false immortals. However, it was too difficult to cultivate to this realm. It was even more difficult than becoming a true immortal. Once one became a Void Immortal Realm expert, he would be able to shine in the 10,000 Tribes battlefield. He could even take down an Emperor Road Battle platform. It was extremely impressive. The Emperor Road Battle platform was a great opportunity. One could obtain the opportunity to be reflected by the Emperor ranking for the second time. More importantly, one could even receive the magnificent Road of Immortal Ascension. Only such experts were qualified to be listed in the top 10,000 list of the future Emperor ranking. The terrifying Void Immortals could even go against the natural order and kill Immortal Dao experts. This was a legendary realm. Zhu Gaoge was even more terrified. What was the origin of the young Devil King? It's not strange. I entered the forbidden area of the number 1 Great Treasure Medicine and obtained the 7-colored Elemental Immortal Liquid. Suyan's words made Zhu Gaoge laugh angrily. You lunatic, you're getting crazier. You even sneaked into the forbidden area of our clan's number 1 Great Treasure Medicine. Why don't you say that you stole the supreme golden pill of the Golden Immortal Cave? Zhu Gaoge laughed at Suyan. However, as he spoke, he completely lost his voice. Zhu Gaoge was trembling because he saw Suyan take out the 7-colored Elemental Immortal Liquid and even the 7-colored Elemental Immortal Fruit. This is impossible. His expression changed as he shouted hysterically. He coughed up blood and was about to faint. Who are you? Who are you? Zhu Gaoge was going crazy. His eyes were bloodshot. What happened to the clan? Who was the young Devil King? He felt despair and even sorrow for the clan. You'll never know who I am. Suyan looked at Zhu Gaoge and said calmly, that old dog Zhu Li Hui is in trouble now. I transformed into you, entered the forbidden area, and took the 7-colored Elemental Immortal Fruit. That's why your clan is looking for you. Even Zhu Li Hui is forbidden from leaving Sky Bamboo City. You're a devil. Zhu Gaoge could not catch his breath. He spat out a mouthful of blood and fainted from anger. Suyan shook his head slightly. He strengthened the seal on Zhu Gaoge's sea of consciousness just in case. Soon, he calmed down and studied the Immortal Path Primordial Spirit to stabilize his current tier. Time flew by. The Sky Bamboo region was still under martial law. The disappearance of the 7-colored Elemental Immortal Fruit was still a secret. They could not find Zhu Gaoge, nor could they find the culprit. This had become a sore point for the clan's patriarch. After a few months, the stifling atmosphere of the clan improved. On this day, the outer sect was bustling with activity. Xia Kunlun, who had refined the Grade 5 evolution fluid and received all sorts of resources from Doli, had a stronger aura. He had become one of the strongest experts in the outer sect. Greetings, Brother Xia. Suyan's status had been greatly elevated. He was now extremely honorable. Many cultivators came forward to greet him. There's no need to be so courteous, my friends. Suyan was all smiles. News of the 9 Cauldrons auction had reached the Sky Bamboo branch. Many disciples had already gone there. Naturally, Suyan had to go as well. Zhu Yao was scheming something big this time. He could not let her succeed. The 9 Cauldrons auction is about to start. Are you going? Bai Yunxi walked over and said, the 9 Cauldrons auction is a grand event with great appeal. Moreover, the destination is the 9 Cauldrons continent. The 9 Cauldrons continent is one of the 10 most prosperous continents. I still have some matters to attend to in my cultivation. I'll go in a few days. Suyan said. He wanted to bring Bamboo Moon around to have a look. He wanted to experience the limited amount of time he had to settle down. Once the 10,000 tribe battlefield opened, he did not know what would happen next. In short, he cherished the time that was dwindling. Bai Yunxi pursed her lips and said, then I can't go with you. I'll go with a few friends. We could take care of each other on the way. If you go alone, you have to be careful. Although the Nine Cauldrons continent is connected to the Sky Bamboo continent, it's said that the Nine Cauldrons continent is rather chaotic. After all, there's no power there. Ever since Zhu Gaogo was wanted, Bai Yunqi had gained a few more close friends. They were closer. No power there? Su Yan was stunned. He did not know much about the Nine Cauldrons continent. However, why was there no power in one of the 10 most prosperous continents? There are many merchants in the Nine Cauldrons continent. Bai Yunqi explained to Su Yan. The various powers are entrenched and complicated. Many immortal sects have their own bases. Although the Nine Cauldrons continent is one of the 10 most prosperous continents, and every power wants to monopolize it. According to what I know, 1,000,000 years ago, the various powers were fighting fiercely. 1,000,000 years ago? Su Yan interrupted Bai Yunqi's words. His heart trembled. The Nine Cauldrons continent is one of the 10 most prosperous continents. 1,000,000 years ago, the one in control was the Celestial Court. Bai Yunqi said in a low voice. The ruins of the Celestial Court are still in the Nine Cauldrons continent. Su Yan's heart was in turmoil. The impact of this news on Su Yan was too great. The prehistoric Celestial Court. The Nine Cauldrons continent was the territory of the Celestial Court. Even now, the ruins were still preserved.